Welcome to the part 6 of Villain, the School Beauty's plot. If you encounter any issues or have feedback, please let me know in the comments rather than just disliking the video. Your input helps me improve, and I'm here to make sure you have the best experience possible. Enjoy the content.
Chapter 151, Part 1. Swish. The large characters on the letter disappeared suddenly without a trace within a few seconds of being exposed to the air. It was obviously written with some kind of special ink. Chen Beiyuan's eyes flashed with amusement, as if he had already guessed the identity of the person who wrote the letter. A strange smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, and a magic flame appeared from his fingertips, burning the white paper in his hand. She is an ambitious woman. While leaving a way out for himself, he didn't reveal too much. He was obviously preparing to sell it at a price, using the Ito family's plan as a bargaining chip. Of course, deep down in her heart, she must also have the idea of hedging her bets. Whoever wins will be helped. Donghua Academy, the residence of the Sakura Country Exchange Group. After the deputy envoy Ito Makoto was brought back to Sakura Country, the entire exchange group undoubtedly became the private residence of Jingu Fengyuan. Even the other people who had been surrounding Ito Makoto before quickly surrendered one after another under Jingu Fengyuan's methods and offered their loyalty. Even the list of Ito Makoto's previous bribes was gradually held by Jingu Fengyuan, and this undoubtedly makes Jingu Fengyuan even more proud. Jingu Yukino looked on with cold eyes, his eyes full of disdain. At this point, it's really stupid to still compete for such a small profit. I don't want to take back the rights belonging to the Jingu family from the Ito family, but I have been immersed in my own world. If the position of Sakura Kingdom's royal family is left in the hands of people like you, it will fall sooner or later. Jingu Yukino is undoubtedly extremely dissatisfied and disdainful of her eldest brother Jingu Fengyuan. Jingu Fengyuan is a person with little wisdom, but no big plans. Although he is good at forbearing, he is prone to arrogance and is like a wolf in Zhongshan. She is an ambitious person and has had the ambition to regain the Jingu family since she was a child. As a royal family, the Jingu family has been suppressed by the Ito family for hundreds of years. They're almost like puppets. Only nominal prestige and substantive rights are left, which have been eroded by the Ito family. Although Sakura Country has a tradition of defeating superiors, no one wants to be the one being superior. When Jingu Yukino was a child, she admired her father Jinguji, thinking that he was the most powerful man, and even regarded him as a belief. But when she saw her father being humiliated by that old man Ito Ryu, he still had to smile apologetically, dared not speak out in anger, and even almost sent her mother to bed. At that moment, her inner faith was shattered. Instead, there is ambition for power and status. She wants to make the Jingu family great again. This is undoubtedly a good dream. It's a pity that she is a woman. The Jingu family cannot allow a woman to be in power, nor can they allow a woman to ride on their head. In the eyes of those people, her role is to form a marriage alliance and strive for the best interests of the family. Under such circumstances, any attempt to show any ambition on her part would lead to unreasonable disaster. This undoubtedly nipped her ambition in the bud. Over the years, she has been looking for opportunities. Now she finally saw it. If the Jingu family wants to escape control and regain power, they must get rid of the Ito family. If the Ito family is not eliminated, the Jingu family will always be puppets. The Ito family is a hungry wolf, and the Donghua family is a ferocious tiger. As long as they operate properly, they can take advantage of the fire, even if they pay a small price. As long as we can make the Jingu family great again, everything will be worth it. In Jingu Yukino's heart, Chen Beiyuan is the most important person in her planning. She has been waiting for the other party's arrival. As long as the other party comes to her door, she will have the capital and initiative to negotiate. As long as the Chen family is willing to make corresponding commitments, she will never mind selling the Ito family and revealing all the Ito family's plans as a bargaining chip. However, in the next few days, she never waited for Chen Beiyuan's arrival. The letter I sent seemed to be lost in the sea. This undoubtedly made her heart freeze. Is it that Chen Beiyuan is not interested in what she has to say? Jingu Yukino guessed right. Chen Beiyuan was indeed not interested in this matter. In contrast, he was more interested in Jingu Yukino. From that letter, he saw Jingu Yukino's hidden ambition. He dared to say that Jingu Yukino contacted him about this matter without telling anyone from the Jingu family. A person who has no desires or demands means that he has no value of use. An ambitious and special person can be of great use at critical moments. When he saw the letter, Chen Beiyuan had an extremely bold idea in his mind. Jingu Yukino is this person. He is of great use. However, before using it, you need to show off the other person and get rid of their pride. It just so happens that Void Temple is coming soon. It's almost time. Chen Beiyuan stood on a tall building, looking at the blue sky, as if waiting for something. Based on his speculation, plus the description of the original work, Temple of the Void arrives today. Boom! Just as he finished speaking, the blue sky suddenly shattered like a huge mirror. Illusory palaces exuding terrifying coercion suddenly appeared out of thin air and descended all over the world, immediately causing countless people to exclaim, "What is that? An illusory palace appears in the sky. Wait a minute, that seems to be the legendary Void Temple." The body of Void Temple has always been hidden in the void. It is suspected to be the legendary 9th grade magic weapon. There are countless treasures hidden inside. Every once in a while, phantoms will be projected around the world and separate Void Orders. Those who obtain Void Order can enter it and gain opportunities. It is said that a lucky person once obtained the 8th grade magic weapon inside. Once it appears in the world, it will attract the attention of all forces. I think back then, all the countries in the world and those ferocious beasts and alien races all thought about taking Void Temple as their own, but unfortunately, they never succeeded. I just don't know what grade of Void Order the Void Temple produces this time. Void Order is divided into 9 levels. 4 first-grade warriors and 9th-grade war gods. The level of Void Order produced each time is different, which limits the cultivation level of the entrant. In an instant, in the eyes of the human race and alien beasts from all over the world, suspended in the sky, the door of the simple and majestic Void Temple suddenly shone brightly, and streams of strange divine light and strangely shaped Void Orders flew out. Those with sharp eyes instantly saw his 6 carved on the core of the Void Order. 6th grade Void Order. This time, only the 6th grade War King can enter the Void Temple. This will undoubtedly shock prodigy all over the world. Chapter 152 Part 1. 6th grade Battle King. This is undoubtedly stuck at a very special joint point. Nowadays, most of the top human race prodigies in various countries are at the 6th grade level. Some of those who are slightly younger are mostly in the 5th grade stage. There is no doubt that this Temple of the Void will definitely attract top prodigy from all over the world to participate. Even ferocious beasts and alien races will take a hand. Void Temple contains terrifying resources and treasures, which is undoubtedly a huge opportunity for those top prodigy. Although it will definitely bring huge risks, opportunities and risks are inherently mutual. More importantly, Void Temple has a hidden benefit. That is, as time goes by, the difficulty of Void Temple will gradually increase, starting a time elimination system. The cultivator who can persist to the end of the time elimination system in Void Temple will receive the title of King of the Void and receive special gifts from Void Temple. Chen Beiyuan, the most powerful man in the Donghua Empire, defeated the prodigy of various countries 100 years ago, swept across the ferocious beasts and alien races, and finally won the title of King of the Void and received the Temple Gift. Chen Beiyuan, who received the Temple Gift, broke through to 8th grade War Emperor the following year and showed terrifying dominance at the same level. As soon as he broke through, he defeated many veteran war emperors and was promoted in just a few decades to the most powerful sequence. Bald Eagle Alliance, Los Santos. Grab the Void Order quickly. This is a once-in-a-century opportunity. If you can become the King of the Void and receive gifts from the temple, you can soar into the sky. A Void Order, filled with strange divine light, instantly attracted countless people to fight for it. The violent fighting spirits collided with each other and swept away, and terrifying murd asterisk rouse intense spread in all directions. In an instant, someone was beaten into blood mist and fell directly on the spot. The opportunity of defying the heavens and changing fate is ahead, and even beloved friends and brothers are giving in. Anyone who dares to block the road will die. Roar. A huge and majestic golden lion head suddenly appeared out of thin air, roaring wildly, forming a violent vacuum wave. The dozen or so contenders in front who had no time to react were instantly shaken into large sheets of blood mist, mingling with each other. Even if some of the luckier contenders avoided the attack of the golden lion head, their internal organs were shaken by the terrifying sound waves. A large amount of blood spurted out of their mouths, their breath was weak, and they were seriously injured. Boom! The Void Order was directly grabbed by a rough hand. A tall figure with blonde hair and blue eyes, arrogant and unruly like a lion, with ferocious eyes holding a Void Order, ignored the shocked and angry expressions of the people around him, and laughed ear-splittingly, with a posture of being determined to win. Ha ha, the King of the Void this time must be me, the Lion King Caesar. Sunfall Empire. The contenders who were fighting for the Void Order suddenly screamed one after another, and their bodies began to lose control. The blood in their bodies seemed to be controlled by some special force and began to run rampant. Why is my body out of control? Ah, my hand! Siete, who is it? If you can get out of here? Damn it, it's that vampire lunatic from the Klein family. Bang! 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 Countless BLO**dy thorns suddenly sprouted from each contender's body. directly penetrating them from the inside out. There were mutilated corpses connected in series among the strange BLO *dy thorns, suspended in midair, looking extremely horrifying. Swish! A giant black bat suddenly descended from the sky, holding the void token in its claws, and landed on the ground. I saw that the dark giant bat changed little by little, and finally turned into a pale young figure wearing a tuxedo, holding a gentleman's stick in his hand. A pair of vertical amber eyes looked coldly at the temple projection in the sky, with a hint of excitement and madness. With such a big commotion, a lot of monsters will definitely get in, and their blood will definitely be delicious. Slavic Empire. A frozen river of vodka. A naked figure as strong as a giant bear, with luxuriant hair all over his body and scars on his body, was holding a void token in his hand. Under his feet were broken corpses all over the place, including those of humans and beasts. I hope that the powerful people from all over the world who enter Void Temple this time can give me some surprises. Sakura Country. Donghua Empire. With the arrival of Void Temple, the top prodigy of the younger generation in the entire empire were also alarmed one after another. Bai Ruowei, Jiang Yanhua, Wang Daoxian, Wei Wushuang, Yi Chun. A battle for admission tickets begins instantly. No one wants to miss this opportunity. Even Lin Xiao, the son of fortune, has joined the battle at this moment. Swish! A void order, filled with strange light, turned into a stream of light and flew straight towards a tall building, and happened to fall into a jade-like palm. Boy! Hand over the void order. In an instant, many people were attracted by the owner of those hands, their eyes full of envy and jealousy, and they wanted to snatch it away. But when they saw the man's face, everyone present was stunned for a moment. Chen Beiyuan. In an instant, the atmosphere at the scene fell into a deathly silence. Swish! There was almost no hesitation, and the few people who came after Void Order turned around and ran away without hesitation. Void Order, no matter how good it is not as valuable as your own life and gold. Nowadays, Chen Beiyuan is already the strongest among the younger generation of Donghua Empire. Are they going to fight him with his head? Isn't this fatal? Persimmons need to be picked soft to pinch. This group of people chose to change their target without hesitation, and the direction they ran to was exactly where Lin Xiao was. From the beginning to the end, Chen Beiyuan did not raise his eyelids, but looked at the void order in his hand with interest. Immediately, he raised his eyes to look at the temple projection in the sky. A strange look flashed in his eyes. According to legend, the Void Temple is suspected to exist as a 9th-grade divine weapon, but there is indeed not enough evidence to confirm it. However, Chen Beiyuan, who has read the original work, knows that it is true. Temple of the Void is indeed a special 9th-grade weapon. The reason why the Void Temple suddenly appeared, projected it all over the world, and issued void orders, inviting powerful people from all races to enter. The purpose is to select a target with the greatest potential and recognize it as its owner. In the late stage of the plot, the master selected by Void Temple was son of Fortune Lin Xiao, who had just broken through to the 8th-grade War Emperor. However, just when Lin Xiao was preparing to refine the Void Temple, he, the destined villain, appeared. At that time, he happened to become the first 9th-grade god of war in the original work. As a result, Lin Xiao, the son of fortune, was not only beaten to death by him, but the Void Temple that was about to be refined was also snatched away by him, and the weapon spirit inside also changed into his shape. In a sense, Void Temple, this 9th-grade weapon, has a lot of fate with him, the destined villain. I hope you won't disappoint me. Swish! Chen Beiyuan directly activated the Void Order in his hand, which turned into a stream of light and disappeared. Chapter 153, Part 1. Void Temple, Outer Hall. Young and powerful human race men with different hair colors, different skins, and different body shapes appeared one after another, all holding Void Token in their hands. These people all exude a terrifying aura far beyond those of the same level of powerhouses. Some of them seem to be only 6th-grade war kings, but the aura they exude is even richer than that of 7th-grade war kings. After the emergence of Void Temple, those who can snatch Void Order among the many contenders are almost all the core seeds of the top forces. Of course, it is not ruled out that some guys who are not strong but have special identities have obtained the Void Order, with the support of the forces behind them. As for a strong civilian who comes from a lower-class background and has no background, that is naturally very few. After all, the starting line between the two parties is not the same. In just a few breaths, hundreds of figures appeared in the entire outer hall. However, these young and powerful men were all covered with a strange light at this moment, and their faces could not be seen clearly. Everyone looked at each other, but no one spoke first, and the scene instantly fell into a deathly silence. What's interesting is that even with the external threat of ferocious beasts and alien races, conflicts within human race countries still exist. There is never a shortage of mutual hostility and mutual stabbing. Living in harmony is almost a special luxury. If the Void Temple had not banned internal fighting, now the prodigy from various countries would be the first to start a fight. Once you enter the Void's secret realm, everyone will be a hidden opponent. Chen Beiyuan suddenly appeared in the temple. Looking up, he saw the figures of young prodigy whose faces could not be seen clearly. Although the face cannot be seen clearly, the pleasant aura is difficult to change, coupled with some obvious characteristics. Chen Beiyuan quickly locked onto the two charming figures in the crowd who were tall, plump, and noble in temperament. Their faces could not be seen clearly. Bai Ruwei, Jiang Yinhua, these two are old acquaintances, and there is no need to look at their faces. Even with their eyes closed and the lights turned off, Chen Beiyuan can spot them immediately. As for the young prodigies of the empire, such as Wang Daoxian, Wei Wushuang, Yi Chun, and Madman Zhu, he didn't remember them very well, and it would be difficult to recognize them. Suddenly, his eyes paused for a moment at a tall figure wearing a four-clawed python robe whose face could not be seen clearly, and he felt an inexplicable threat. Chen Beiyuan recognized this person's identity almost instantly. Jiang Yunfan, the crown prince of the Donghua Empire, the future heir of the royal Jiang family. Before Chen Beiyuan rose to power, he had always been the strongest being among the younger generation of the Donghua Empire, and has occupied the position of the first person of the younger generation for 20 consecutive years, which has never been shaken. It is not an exaggeration to say that such strength is unfathomable. However, after he rose up and penetrated the 7th floor of Soul Beast Tower, Jiang Yunfan's #1 position became shaky. The tall figure wearing a four-clawed python robe seemed to have noticed his gaze, and immediately seemed to have noticed his identity and nodded towards him, showing a friendly attitude. Chen Beiyuan also nodded in response. Except Jiang Yunfan, there were very few people present who could pose any threat to him. While he was sizing up the others were also sizing up the competitors around them in silence. Some young prodigy gathered together in a very tacit understanding. Of course, there are also lone wolves with strong self-control who still stay alone. The atmosphere gradually became strange and solemn. However, the special figures that were teleported in next moment broke the solemn scope of the scene. Those figures were strangely shaped, filled with the aura of blood, and exuded a fierce and violent aura. Just by looking at it, many young prodigy present felt a sense of threat coming over them with their hair standing on end. Even though these guys' faces and most of their physical features were covered by the strange divine light, many prodigy of the human race present recognized their identities instantly. Ferocious beasts, alien races. Moreover, there are also some high-level ferocious beasts and aliens with powerful bloodlines. In an instant, the faces of the prodigy of the human race, who had been wary and hostile to each other just now, changed slightly, and their eyes became cold. It's these bastards again. That's right, these bastards have sharper noses than dogs. As long as there is something good, these bastards are always indispensable. These bitches are going crazy, and will even kill their own people. Be careful, guys. Jia, I didn't expect to see so many delicious blood foods. The last time I saw so many delicious blood foods was when we conquered the Mayan kingdom. Those pretentious blood foods ran faster than rabbits when they saw the city was broken. Human beings are weak and incompetent creatures. As long as you kill a few leaders, the rest of the people will kneel on the ground and beg for mercy like sheep. I still remember that the king of the Mayan kingdom was very tough at that time. His head was cut off without even a wrinkle, but the heir he chose was a bit of a loser. He was so scared that he peed on the spot. Ha ha. The queen of the Mayan kingdom originally planned to die for her country with that old guy, but I just threatened her with her useless son, and she surrendered obediently. TSK, that woman's taste is definitely apex level. It's a pity. He died after playing for only 3 days and 3 nights. Human beings are really fragile creatures, accompanied by the unscrupulous sounds of these ferocious beasts and alien races. All the prodigy of the human race present turned extremely ugly. The Mayan kingdom, as these ferocious aliens call, it is the top power of the human race and an important member of the human race alliance. It is one of the ancient civilizations as famous as the Donghua Empire. However, 100 years ago, the Mayan country was suddenly invaded by aliens. Overnight, the country was destroyed and countless Mayans died tragically. The king of the Mayan kingdom, the 8th grade war emperor, was beheaded. His head was collected by a foreign king, and his body was eaten by many foreign races. The Mayan king's queen was insulted by the aliens and eventually died tragically. In order to survive, the prince of the Mayan kingdom not only sold his mother, but also became a slave to a foreign race, betraying many of the secrets of the human race. 3 years later, he was worthless and boiled as a 2-legged sheep. Today, the old site of the Mayan kingdom is still in the hands of foreigners. There is no doubt that the demise of the Mayan kingdom severely slapped the human race alliance into a big mouth. A once top power fell and died overnight. The entire human race alliance member states didn't even have time to support. This kind of thing is nothing short of a fantasy. According to this, today it can be Maya, tomorrow it can be a bald eagle, and acquired can be Donghua. There must be something hidden in this. There could be infighting within human race. But in front of the ferocious beasts and alien races, we must remain consistent with the outside world. Just when the atmosphere became tense, not far away, Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yunhua suddenly walked towards Chen Beiyuan, as if they recognized him. In fact, it is not difficult to recognize Chen Beiyuan. At a glance, there is a person in the crowd who always stands with his hands behind his back, with a straight waist, graceful demeanor, extraordinary appearance, and looks like a king. 9 times out of 10, it is him. If you get stuck, if you get a serious stuck, your life will be worse than death. And after working for a whole day, I finally have time to code. Chapter 154, Part 1. Well, these are just some of the factors. In fact, the real reason is that Bai Ruowei sensed Chen Beiyuan's aura through Bai Zhe battle spirit and determined his location. Although Jiang Yunhua doesn't have as terrifying a sense as Bai Ruowei, she is very familiar with Chen Beiyuan's smell. As for how familiar it is, as soon as I smell it, I feel like I am very angry and need to extinguish the urge. It can be said that the familiarity between these two people with Chen Beiyuan is almost engraved in their bones. However, what Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yunhua didn't know was that before them, someone had instantly recognized Chen Beiyuan when they entered the Void Temple. That was a certain son of fortune named Lin Xiao. For Lin Xiao, not to mention that Chen Beiyuan's face was obscured by the strange light, he could still recognize Chen Beiyuan even if he turned into ashes. In a sense, his love for Chen Beiyuan may be more than that of the two lucky heroines Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yunhua. Chen Beiyuan. Lin Xiao's eyes were full of poisonous threads, and his breathing became rapid, but he suppressed the resentment in his heart and did not look at the other party, so as not to arouse the other party's vigilance. The previous humiliation in the black jail, plus the humiliation given to him by Lin Jiuxiao, all added up, were not as high as his hatred for Chen Beiyuan. He knew very well that Chen Beiyuan was the real culprit behind why he ended up in the situation he is in today. Without Chen Beiyuan's repeated suppression, he would not be where he is today. Over and over again, he abandoned his armor. First, he lost his crush on the goddess Leng Ruobing, and then he lost his beloved godfather Qian Baizong. After that, he lost opportunities many times, and even lost himself countless times. When he was bullied by several tall Taoren in the dark prison, his hatred for Chen Beiyuan almost reached its peak. Even at that time, he mistook the Taoren leader who bullied him as Chen Beiyuan, and finally relied on flattery and obedience to poison him with the power of words. When he poisoned the opponent, Lin Xiao felt that his soul had been sublimated, and he even touched the threshold of the 6th grade War King, just missing the final kick. Right now, I am no match for Chen Beiyuan in terms of strength or background, so I need to bear with it for the time being. In terms of strength, I'm almost breaking through the 6th grade champion and catching up with Chen Beiyuan. In terms of background, I can now use means to influence Lin Jiuxiao for my own use. At critical moments, I can borrow part of the Lin family's power. As long as the Void Temple can get enough benefits this time, the gap between Chen Beiyuan and I will be narrowed little by little. At that time, it will be time to counterattack. It has to be said that at this moment, Lin Zhao's character is gradually approaching the cunning poison dragon. But what he didn't know at this moment was that the demonic thoughts on his shoulders were seeing all his dark emotions. At this moment, a special commotion suddenly appeared, attracting Lin Zhao's attention. When he saw what happened in front of him, he burst into ecstatic laughter. Haha, Chen Beiyuan, you also have today. Now I want to see what you do. I saw a huge alien figure with a body shape suddenly blocking the path forward of Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yunhua, staring greedily at the two women in front of them. Jia, I didn't expect to meet two supreme grade beauties in this kind of place. The taste of your flesh and BLO*D must be very wonderful. Although this alien was covered in a layer of strange divine light, its specific appearance could not be seen clearly. It can be seen from the little silver white hair showing on its body, a pair of erect wolf ears on its head, plus the fact that it is tall but not bloated, and it also habitually bends its waist. This should be a powerful alien from the Silver Wolf clan. Silver wolves are one of the top alien races. They are born with the power to control the moonlight. They are cruel and L***ful. They like to plunder and humiliate human women, and then eat them bit by bit to satisfy their perverted desires. As a top alien race, the Silver Wolf tribe naturally has alien kings comparable to the 8th grade War Emperor. At this moment, this alien creature from the Silver Wolf clan was obviously eyeing Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yunhua. The movement here naturally attracted everyone's attention instantly. In an instant, someone recognized the identity of this alien Silver Wolf who was looking for trouble. It's that guy from Braga, the Silver Wolf King's favorite youngest son. This guy is notoriously lecherous. The Queen of Maya was tortured by this guy for 3 days and 3 nights. In the end, she was even buried in a wolf's kiss. This guy seems to have been eyeing his father's concubine some time ago, and he almost got castrated. TSK, 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 he is a master who can't control his body. Now it's fun, being targeted by this guy Braga. These 2 human women will probably be worse than dead. Listening to the unbridled laughter of the ferocious beasts and alien races around them, the faces of all the prodigy of the human race present sank. Among them, there was a figure wearing a dark cloak whose appearance could not be clearly seen, but a figure with a plump and S*XY figure could be vaguely seen. When he heard that the Queen of Maya was tortured and killed, he couldn't help but clenched his fists. A pair of amber eyes looked at Braga's back, as if there was a slight murd *rouse intention. Wang Daoxian, Wei Wuxuang, Madman Zhu, and Yi Chun, the top prodigies of the Donghua Empire, also recognized through their auras that the 2 people surrounded by Silver Wolf Prince were Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yanhua. Their faces instantly became ugly, and they wanted to step forward to stop not far away. Jiang Yinfan, the heir to the imperial royal family, also turned cold and walked towards Braga. However, someone was 1 step ahead of them. The cold triangular eyes of Silver Wolf Prince Braga seemed to have penetrated the obstruction of the strange divine light and saw the stunning appearance of the 2 people in front of him, with a greedy expression on his face. 2 beauties. At this moment, it didn't notice that Jiang Yanhua and Bai Ruowei looked at it as if they were looking at a dead person. If the Void Temple had not banned fighting, these 2 lucky heroines could have twisted its head off. Among the female protagonists of Luck, these 2 are the most capable. However, something strange suddenly appeared on their faces, and both pairs of beautiful eyes looked behind Braga. Noisy! Before Braga could finish speaking, a huge force suddenly came from behind, knocking it out and slamming it into the ground. The next step is to enter the Void Secret Realm and start the classic plot of Shuangwen. Kill, 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 kill. Chapter 155 Part 1. Chen Beiyuan took his hand back expressionlessly. If it weren't for the 9th grade divine weapon Void Temple that prohibits fighting, he could directly twist off the head of Silver Wolf Prince Braga. Beiyuan, Beiyuan! Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yanhua walked towards him in unison, one on the left and one on the right, sandwiching him in the middle. Although the strange divine light covered their beautiful faces, it could not hide the fiery gazes they looked at him. However, Chen Beiyuan's move undoubtedly caused the already solemn atmosphere at the scene to boil instantly. The aliens and ferocious beasts who were arrogant and domineering just now saw the Silver Wolf Prince throw a dog and eat shit, and his expression suddenly changed slightly, as if he had been slapped hard. Human, you are seeking death. One was similar in size to Braga and had dark silver hair on his body. He was obviously an alien from the Silver Wolf clan. Seeing his prince being humiliated, Prodigy suddenly became furious and howled like a wolf. Several Prodigy from the Silver Wolf clan suddenly gathered around it and walked towards Chen Beiyuan and the others little by little, trying to surround them. Some alien Prodigy who were friends with the Silver Wolf clan also came over at this moment, trying to put pressure on Chen Beiyuan and the others. However, they obviously missed one thing. Chen Beiyuan is not alone. He is from the Donghua Empire. You bastards, you dare to bully our Donghua Empire people. Who gave you the courage? If you want to play, wait until you enter the Void Secret Realm. I'll play with you, you bunch of eggless bastards. The burly madman Zhu stood directly in front of the Silver Wolf Prodigy. Although his face was covered by the strange divine light, he could not hide the unruly tone in his words. If you want to fight, I, the Donghua Empire, will accompany you to the end. Wang Daoxian, who was dressed in a black Taoist robe and had a vicissitudes of life, also stood up with a bad look on his face. Ahem, cough, cough. It seems that there will be a lot more alien puppet collections this time. I hope your corpses can withstand it better. Wei Wuxuang, who was pale and coughing like crazy, stared at the foreigner in front of him with cold eyes. It seems that the Donghua Empire hasn't given you any pain in these years. I still think that the current Donghua Empire is still the same as it was 100 years ago. If you dare to step on anything, if you dare to reach out, your head will be chopped off. Yi Chun, Qin Shaoxi, Zhou Shaoxian. One by one, the top prodigies of the Donghua Empire stood up and directly confronted the aliens in front of them, tit for tat. These foreigners were not allowed to get even half a step closer to Chen Beiyuan. Lin Shao looked at the scene in front of him in disbelief. He never expected that so many people would stand up for Chen Beiyuan. You know, among those who came forward, there were some who couldn't deal with Chen Beiyuan. How could they come forward at this time? This undoubtedly put some of his dark thoughts to rest. Lin Xiao, who came from a lower-class background, was obviously still limited by his vision and structure, and could not clearly see the current situation. Within the Donghua Empire, the top aristocratic families can fight to the death and plot against each other. But when dealing with the outside world, we must be united and united. Silver Wolf Prince Braga's behavior of blocking Bai Ruowei and Zhang Yinhua just now is undoubtedly a slap in the face of all Donghua Empire prodigy present. This has already touched upon the BLO*DY issue of the nation. If the Donghua people don't even have this kind of blood but choose to sit on the sidelines, let it develop, and only care about themselves, then there is really no hope for this empire. People can be selfish, but they cannot forget their roots. At this moment, the tacit understanding and unity shown by the Donghua people will undoubtedly change the prodigy of other countries. Even many foreigners present could not help but recall some bad memories. Under the protection of the strange divine light, Silver Wolf Prince Braga did not suffer any harm, even though he fell and was a little embarrassed. All the power was offset by the Void Temple. This is the dominance of the 9th grade weapon, Temple of the Void. Here, even if the 8th grade War Emperor takes action, he cannot even kill a weak and humble ant. However, even so, it would undoubtedly be a huge embarrassment to lose face in front of everyone. Silver Wolf Prince Braga slowly stood up and looked around with his cold, triangular eyes, looking at the tribesmen who were blocked from the periphery. His eyes became colder and colder. The handsome wolf face covered with silver-white hair instantly became ferocious and terrifying. Its expression became twisted and jealous, and its hot breath foreshadowed its anger. It walked towards Chen Beiyuan step by step, staring condescendingly at Chen Beiyuan in front of him. Its split snout revealed its sharp fangs. Foul-smelling liquid dripped onto the ground. Just when it was about to approach, the silent Void Temple suddenly glowed with a faint blue light. A cold voice with endless majesty suddenly appeared. Void's secret realm is about to open. All Void Walkers, please be prepared and keep your own Void order properly. Void Walker, get ready to start the killing journey. The more Void tokens you get, the more treasures you will be able to exchange from the Void Temple. Void Walkers, who obtain 20 Void tokens within 7 days will enter the next round of tests. The Void Walker, who can persevere to the end and complete all Void tests will receive the title of Void King and receive gifts from the temple. Starting Void Teleportation. As the cold voice of the Void Temple fell, the strange divine light that filled everyone present began to bloom with a strange brilliance. A force of void movement instantly blessed everyone. Seeing the unexpected incident, Braga suppressed the frustration and anger in his heart and stared coldly at Chen Beiyuan in front of him. Chen Beiyuan? The heir to the Donghua Chen family. Very good. I will remember you. Once you enter the Void Temple, I will definitely kill you. At this time, even if you send these 2 women here, it will be useless. I will let you know the consequences of offending this uncle. There's so much nonsense. Your dog's head will be stored on your neck for now. When the time comes, I will twist it off myself. Chen Beiyuan directly interrupted Braga's nonsense and said straightforwardly. At the same time, he quietly put something into the hands of Zhang Yinhua and Bai Ruowei. Swish, the power of the void flashed. Everyone in the entire outer hall disappeared without a trace. At the last moment of being teleported, Chen Beiyuan seemed to have glanced somewhere in the Void Temple inadvertently. A long time. Suddenly, an illusory figure filled with strange divine light appeared in the silent Void Temple. His face could not be seen clearly, but his figure was very impressive. There seemed to be a trace of doubt and surprise in her eyes. Strange, did he find me? In the morning, a group of leaders came over to inspect the work, leaving the author no time to fish. In the afternoon, he had to be arrested to work. I just want to fish. Chapter 156, Part 1. This illusory figure whose face could not be seen clearly was also a little surprised. She knew very well that Chen Beiyuan's seemingly unintentional glance just now was actually looking at the place where she often hides. This is a bit scary. You know, she is the weapon spirit of the Void Temple. Even the 8th grade War Emperor cannot detect her existence. How could a brat like the 6th grade War King find out about her existence? What the hell? Void Secret Realm. Chen Beiyuan's figure suddenly appeared in a dense, ancient forest. The surrounding vast trees all rise from the ground like giant pillars, covering the sky and swallowing up all the light in the sky, giving people a shock from the soul. Compared to the real world, the spirit chi permeating the air in the Void Secret Realm is at least 10 times higher. If someone were to practice here, their cultivation speed would be at least 10 times that of the real world. With 10 times the training speed, even a useless person can catch up with the pace of a genius. Such terrifying benefits can be described as appalling. However, Chen Beiyuan, who was alone, looked as usual, as if he had expected it. Having read the plot of the original work, he naturally knew the situation in advance. Plus, he had read the corresponding records of the family, so naturally he would not be surprised. The dark and deep eyes flashed with a strange color at this moment. In the original work, the temple weapon spirit always likes to hide behind the jade pillar in the center of the outer hall, secretly spying on people who enter the Void Temple. The glance I just gave must have scared her and left a big impression on her. In this case, the next few things will be easier to handle. The teleportation in the Void Temple is random. In most cases, they are separated and let go to avoid getting together. They are rarely together. It is normal that Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yinhua are not here. If I guess correctly, this should be the Forest of 10,000 Beasts, located in the south of the secret realm of the Void. It seems that I was lucky and was randomly teleported to a good start. There are a lot of good things hidden in the 10,000 Beast Forest. The Yingxiu fruit and marrow cleansing fruit I need happen to be near the 10,000 Beast Forest. According to the plot of the original work, these two treasures should mature and bear fruit in the next few days. Before that, I can go get some other things first. I remember that there is an incomplete 8th-grade magic weapon, Ancient Dragon Slaying Bow, hidden in a red dragon demon cave in the 10,000 Beast Forest. This thing was the ancient clan's weapon back then, one of the killing treasures developed for Dragon Race, and it is matched with the Ancient Prisoner Dragon Lock. Ancient Dragon Prison Lock traps the dragon's body, making it unable to move, and makes it easy to capture. Ancient Dragon Slaying Bow tears the dragon's scales, destroys the dragon's body, and kills the dragon's soul. The combination of the two is the greatest weapon for slaying the dragon. Chen Beiyuan had previously obtained the 8th-grade divine weapon, Ancient Prisoner Dragon Lock, from the system reward. Now if we can get the Ancient Dragon Slaying Bow again and cooperate with it, we will undoubtedly have a powerful trump card. Because of the little silly dragon Anu, Chen Beiyuan is facing off against the dragon race of Wanlong Island. It is also good to prepare countermeasures in advance. Of course, in Chen Beiyuan's heart, it was not for the little silly dragon Anu. No, it should be said that it was prepared by the blood-stricken Dragon Emperor after his rebirth. After rebirth, will the BLO*DY Dragon Emperor, who has regained his memory, still be the little silly dragon Anu he is now? He looked at the sleeping little silly dragon Anu deep in his soul, and a hint of complexity flashed through his gloomy eyes. I hope this method will not be used on you. Silent Valley, Bai Ruowei, dressed in white, suddenly appeared in a dark cave, instantly alarming the owner of the dark cave. It was a ferocious earth bear that was as big as a hill and covered with rough khaki fur, with thick fat accumulated under the fur. This is a powerful 6th-grade ferocious beast. It is notoriously crazy and has a terrifying sense of territory. Even if a giant dragon enters its territory, it dares to fight. Let's not talk about whether we can win or not. We must fight. However, unexpectedly, after a brief period of rage, this terrestrial bear gradually calmed down, and its gaze towards Bai Ruowei gradually became softer, even a little more intimate. Sorry for disturbing your sleep. Bai Ruowei's beautiful face showed a hint of apology. She stretched out her hand, touched the head of the earthly bear, and said comfortingly. What's even more shocking is that the geomaniac, which is always known for its bad temper, actually showed some expression of enjoyment and made a low and cheerful sound from its mouth and nose. This is the terrifying thing about Bai Ruowei. This destined heroine with Baizade battle spirit is born with some kind of power of closeness to all things, which can make most creatures put down their hostility towards her. However, when the snow-white fox in her arms looked at the gentle expression of its owner and the obsessed look of the silly big man, it suddenly trembled, as if it remembered something terrible, and quickly lowered its head. After calming down the Earth Fury Bear, Bai Ruowei took out the things that Chen Beiyuan had quietly stuffed into her. It was a piece of paper. It records some of the special opportunities of the Void Temple. Chen Beiyuan knew very well that it would be difficult for him to cover all the secret realms in the entire Void secret realm by himself. He doesn't have that much time either. In this case, it is better to share some of the profits with your own people. More importantly, isn't Bai Ruowei's his? Of course, Chen Beiyuan would not take out those extremely special and important opportunities, only the next level ones. But even so, it was enough to make Bai Ruowei amazed. Some of the chance hidden treasures marked on this piece of paper are of great use to her. Some of these things are even treasures that have been lost for a long time. Bai Ruowei looked at the white paper in her hand. A strange ripple flashed through her charming eyes. Obviously, he didn't expect Chen Beiyuan to be able to obtain such detailed information. He obviously spent a lot of effort. These opportunities, even if she gets one or two, can make her undergo earth-shaking changes. Suddenly, she lowered her head and gently sniffed the remaining body temperature and breath of Chen Beiyuan on the paper. That gorgeous and charming face suddenly revealed an expression of obsession, and murmured to herself, Beiyuan. Compared with being in front of Beiyuan, You need to be more reserved. At this moment, she has undoubtedly released some of her hidden side. Wait, Beiyuan is still young and cannot scare him yet. After they get married, that's it. When the time comes, she will be on top. Chapter 157, Part 1. After a brief period of obsession, Bai Ruowei returned to her previous demeanor of a royal sister and goddess. Of course, it cannot be ruled out that the remaining breath and body temperature on the paper have dissipated. According to the message Beiyuan left me, this should be the Silent Valley. There is a silent rough stone hidden deep in the canyon, which happens to be one of the important auxiliary materials that can be used as an 8th grade magic weapon. Is that silent stone hidden at the bottom of a spring deep in the Silent Valley? It is undoubtedly a huge difficulty to find a water spring in a huge valley, but what if there is help from the indigenous people? Good boy, can you take me to the nearby spring? Bai Ruowei smiled sweetly, looked at the violent earth bear in front of her, and said in a gentle tone, the geoglyph bear, which has always been known for its bad temper and frequent fits of madness, instantly transformed into a boiling bear. He nodded repeatedly with a look of obsession, abandoned his home nest and deep hibernation without hesitation, and began to lead the way. Party. Bai Zhe, the innate amiability of all things, can make many evil creatures put down their hostility, turn enemies into friends, and subconsciously regard them as the closest existence. This is a terrifying talent that is more domineering than a simple charm. This is why in the original work, Fairy Bai is always confident that she can transform old Demon Shun. Soon, under the leadership of Boiling Bear, Bai Ruowei soon found a remote spring hidden deep in the Silent Valley. A certain Boiling Bear ignored the aversion to water deep in his bloodline and took the initiative to jump into the water spring. He forcefully fished out the silent stone, hidden in the deepest part, and delivered it to Bai Ruowei's hands. Good obedient children should be rewarded. This bowl of wine is just compensation for disturbing your hibernation. After Bai Ruowei put away the silent stone, she looked at the wet and dirty earth bear in front of her eyes, with a lot of mud stuck to her hair, and an expectant look on her face, but she had no idea of having S*X for free. She thought for a while, then pointed her finger, and with some luck, a rough stone bowl suddenly formed on the ground. The Schutten gourd, hanging on the waist, directly poured out a bowl of wine containing surging vitality and placed it in front of the earth violent bear as a reward. This auxiliary 7th grade magic weapon is combined with the Bai family's secret wine recipe, and the brewed wine has great appeal and effect on ferocious beasts. The earth-bearing bear looked at the wine with a special aroma in front of him in disbelief, pointed at the wine bowl, and then pointed at himself. After seeing Bai Ruowei smile and nod, he drank the wine in one gulp with a moved expression. Soon, the aura on its body became deeper and thicker. Good boy, I need your help to lead the way. Bai Ruowei held the snow-white fox in her arms and headed towards the next place of opportunity with the Earth Fury Bear leading the way. With the support of Bai Ze's talent and Chen Beiyuan's information, Bai Ruowei's treasure hunting speed is definitely the best among the others. However, at this moment, Bai Ruowei did not notice that behind them, an elusive and tall figure was silently watching their retreating figures. A steep cliff filled with a stench of blood and covered with the corpses of countless ferocious beasts. Zhang Yunhua was looking at the contents of the note in his hand carefully. A pair of beautiful eyes showed expressions of amazement one after another, obviously also amazed by Chen Beiyuan's generosity. The content on the paper seems brief, but the value it contains is indescribable. Although she didn't know where Chen Beiyuan got the message, but due to her trust in Beiyuan, she naturally chose to believe unconditionally. However, what Zhang Yunhua didn't know at this moment was that the content of the note in her hand was obviously much less than that of Bai Ruowei. Obviously, Chen Beiyuan is also aware of Bai Ruowei's speciality in this regard. This is the Blood Moon Cliff located to the south of the Void Secret Realm. There happens to be a blood moon fruit condensed from the flesh and BLO*D essence of countless dead ferocious beasts. For cultivators, this thing is the supreme tool for body tempering. Saint Grade is also of great benefit to me. However, there is a blood moon python dormant in the place where the blood moon fruit gathers. It will take some effort to do so. Compared with Bai Ruowei's special talent, she can draw on the power of the indigenous people. Zhang Yunhua no longer has this ability, so he can only use stupid methods to find the blood moon fruit. However, what she didn't know at this moment was that on the other side of the blood moon cliff, there was a giant wolf covered with silver-white hair and walking upright sniffing for something. This silver-white giant wolf is surprisingly the former silver wolf Prince Braga. Ismelia familia Smedi. Border desert. What the hell is this place? Lin Xiao looked at the endless hot desert in front of him and the cold wind that kept whistling past, and his face suddenly became extremely ugly. At this moment, he could clearly feel that there was no life in this desert, as if it was a forgotten area. He was extremely unlucky to be transported to such a ghostly place at the beginning. It's not like this ghost place is hiding some special opportunity. However, what Lin Xiao didn't know at this moment was, beneath the desert, a majestic and silent palace is buried deep at this moment. Deep in the palace, a simple ring placed on the throne suddenly trembled, and the soul hidden inside seemed to sense something. After hundreds of years, a living person has finally been transported here. Click. Inside the dark and hot cave, one head was red all over, covered with tough scales, burning with terrifying heat. The behemoth with a head that looked like a dragon was suddenly crushed by a jade-like hand. Its huge eyes dimmed instantly, and the burning flames all over its body gradually dissipated. Quickly lost vitality. This is the 15th Red Dragon Demon's Cave. I hope the goddess of fate can favor me this time. Chen Beiyuan casually put the body of the Red Dragon Demon in his hand into the system space, with a hint of complexity in his eyes. Even though he knew that the incomplete 8th grade magic weapon, ancient dragon-slaying bow, was hidden in the Red Dragon Demon Cave. But ferocious beasts like the Red Dragon Demon, which contains some dragon race blood, are also relatively common ferocious beasts in the 10,000 Beast Forest. It's really unrealistic to find it all at once. He has searched more than 10 Red Dragon Demon Caves in a row, but has not found the target. Now, all we can do is continue to try our luck. I just hope that I can find the incomplete 8th grade magic weapon as soon as possible. As for snatching 20 void orders and entering the next round of tests, Chen Beiyuan is not in a hurry. In the past few days, he will not take the initiative to grab the void order. After the others have been fighting and robbing each other, and they have been fattened up one by one, he will take action and harvest them one by one. Chapter 158, Part 1. Chen Beiyuan walks step by step towards the depths of the Red Dragon Demon's Cave. The Red Dragon Demon is a strange, ferocious beast that likes high temperatures and lives underground. It has an appearance close to that of a dragon, but also has the habits of a snake. The cave it is in is not as humid as other ferocious beast caves, but is very dry, even boiling hot. Pieces of fiery red and shiny flint emitted scorching heat and dazzling light, directly illuminating the entire dark cave. As he went deeper, Chen Beiyuan felt that the dragon race bloodline in his body began to feel a little restless, as if he had noticed something. Looks like I'm lucky. Chen Beiyuan paused in his steps. A dark light seemed to flash through his eyes, and a smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. I saw that in the depths of the cave, there were now rows of orange-red eggs of ferocious beasts, as well as a huge skeleton of a giant beast. These orange-red ferocious beast eggs are clearly the descendants of the female Red Dragon Demon just now. As for the huge beast skeleton, it was its husband, a male Red Dragon Demon. The Red Dragon Demon has a very special method of reproduction. When the female Red Dragon Demon is an estrus, she will attract the male Red Dragon Demon through the smell of urine. Afterwards, the female Red Dragon Demon will kill the weak male Red Dragon Demon and eat it bit by bit, using the power of its flesh and BLO*D to give birth to offspring. However, Chen Beiyuan was not interested in the dead male Red Dragon Demon. On the contrary, he was very interested in the curved white jade that vaguely appeared on the spine of the huge skeleton. When he saw the curved white jade, Chen Beiyuan could clearly feel an undisguised disgust in the dragon race bloodline in his body. Obviously, he found what he was looking for. Chen Beiyuan stepped forward slowly and grasped the piece of curved white jade with one hand. The veins on his hand popped out. It was comparable to a 7th grade magic weapon, and the terrifying divine power that was comparable to dragon race at the same level suddenly erupted. Bang! A piece of crescent white jade was suddenly pulled out from the spine of the huge corpse, and the terrifying force instantly shattered the entire white bone corpse. Boom! Chen Beiyuan ignored the huge skeleton that collapsed, but stared at the crescent white jade in his hand. I saw that the entire surface of the crescent white jade was covered with tiny cracks, as if it had suffered some kind of heavy blow. But even so, it still exudes a gleaming light and a heavy and terrifying pressure. Finally found you. Chen Beiyuan's mouth curled up slightly, as if he didn't care about the cracks on the surface of the crescent white jade. The prison-suppressing demonic energy in his body surged crazily towards the crescent white jade. The crescent white jade in his hand actually seeped out strange bloodshot bit by bit, dyeing the entire white jade red bit by bit, and began to undergo strange changes. The desperate wails of giant dragons before they died seemed to echo in his mind one after another. An overwhelming resentment began to emerge from the crescent white jade in his hand. Boom! In an instant, the crescent white jade became contaminated by the terrifying resentment, turning into a dark gray, sinuous and ominous bow with countless cracks. Ancient dragon-slaying bow, 8th grade divine weapon. Incomplete, developed by ancient clan during the ancient times, it is a killing treasure specially designed to restrain dragon race. It has the power of slaying dragons. Later, due to special reasons, the divine weapon was damaged, and dragon race was powerful. The person cursed with the resentment of the dead dragon's soul, causing the divine object to be covered in dust and no longer have its former glory. Under the curse of many dragon race experts, anyone who uses this unknown bow will be eroded by the curse of their dragon soul resentment. Note, this magic weapon is seriously damaged and may collapse at any time. Chen Beiyuan, who was holding the ancient dragon-slaying bow at this moment, could clearly feel the thickness and roughness of its bow body. The special dragon patterns carved on the dark bow all indicate the resentment of the dragon souls of the powerful dragon race, who are dying one after another. Among them, the 8th grade dragon emperor has more than one dragon soul resentment. What a dragon-slaying bow! If it were in its prime, I don't know how elegant it would be. The ancient clan is indeed the race that is most proficient in weapon cultivation. Chen Beiyuan's eyes flashed with emotion. The dragon-slaying divine bow was so badly damaged that it would be difficult to use it several times. It would be very difficult to restore it, unless the ancient clan people could be found. But the ancient clan people have been extinct for who knows how many years. Although it is a pity, this can be regarded as adding a powerful trump card to him. Now that you have the dragon-slaying bow, it's time to leave. Putting away the ancient dragon-slaying bow, Chen Beiyuan planned to leave the red dragon demon cave. Of course, before leaving, he did not forget to collect the densely packed red dragon eggs in front of him. As a ferocious beast with part of the dragon race bloodline, the red dragon demon is not only very powerful, but also proficient in the art of escaping from the earth, making it a very good pet beast. Whether it is for the children of the Chen family or as a gift for your fiancé, it is a good choice. At this moment, Chen Beiyuan suddenly felt a throbbing of blood, and the dragon race blood in his body began to stir crazily. The evil blood dragon mark between his eyebrows began to emit a strange blood light. Deep in his soul, the sleeping little silly dragon, Anu, seemed to have experienced some special mutation, and his whole body began to be covered in blood-colored light. Swish! A ray of blood suddenly shot out from Chen Beiyuan's eyebrows. In Chen Beiyuan's surprised eyes, it actually turned into a huge dragon egg with blood-colored lines out of thin air. Boom! The blood-colored dragon egg hit the ground directly, sinking deeply into the ground, making a loud and slow heartbeat. What's going on? Is it possible that Anu is going to advance to the 7th grade beast? The dragon's blood Dao fruit she ate before was not so strong. Wait a minute, this scene seems a little special. Could it be that she is... Chen Beiyuan's pupil shrank, as if he thought of something. Looks like the plans are about to change. Blood Moon Cliff. Along with a phoenix cry that resounded throughout the heaven and earth, the terrifying phoenix true fire swept everywhere in an instant, swallowing everything. A charming figure bathed in hot flames, exuding endless majesty, was radiating dazzling light wantonly. Behind her, an illusory fire phoenix looked up to the sky and screamed. Boom! In an instant, the corpses and bones on the entire sheer cliff were burned to nothingness. A huge wolf shadow with a burnt black body and a strange, burnt aroma was running wildly at this moment, avoiding the pursuit of the flames behind it. Damn it! How could this woman be so powerful? Not only did she awaken the phoenix fighting spirit, but she also mastered the phoenix true fire. Chapter 159, Part 1. What was running around crazily was none other than the previously arrogant and domineering Silver Wolf Prince Braga. At this moment, it no longer had the arrogance it had in the Void Temple, but instead looked embarrassed. Not only was the gorgeous silver fur burned black, but even his most beloved tail became bare. At a glance, it looks like a big black mouse running around crazily. Originally, after Braga was teleported to Blood Moon Cliff by the Void Temple, he smelled Jiang Yunhua's breath with his keen sense of smell. He suddenly became lustful and wanted to catch this woman and take revenge on Chen Beiyuan. It's a pity that dreams are good, but reality is cruel. Jiang Yunhua, who has the body of a fire phoenix, possesses the phoenix fighting soul, and can master the true fire of the phoenix, is not as weak as he imagined, and can even be said to be extremely terrifying. Among all the lucky heroines, she was born in the royal Jiang family, and her strength can be said to be second to none. In the early and middle stages of the plot, before Leng Ruobing got the Emperor Gu, she and Bai Ruwei were both strong candidates to compete for the first place in the heroine's strength. She is not comparable to Leng Ruobing's vase. Nowadays, among her peers, there are only a few who can surpass her. Among these few candidates, Braga, the Silver Wolf Prince, is definitely not included. It has hit the iron plate. Ah, my tail is my most powerful weapon to attract the opposite S**X. How dare you? How dare you? Damn woman, if it weren't for daytime and my strength wasn't fully unleashed, How could I have been defeated? Bitch, when I gather the rest of the Silver Wolf tribe, I will definitely kill you. Braga roared crazily as he lost the battle to the wolf. Swish. With a burst of silver moonlight, Braga, who used his bloodline talent, instantly turned into a shadow of the moonlight and fled, disappearing without a trace. The Silver Wolf tribe is a special alien race that can naturally master the power of moonlight. During the day, their strength does not increase much. But once darkness falls, their strength will increase significantly after being illuminated by the moonlight. At this moment, it obviously knew that it could not defeat Jiang Yinhua, so it could only do the next best thing and run away first. The top of Blood Moon Cliff. Wearing a flaming phoenix skirt, she was extremely beautiful, with a phoenix mark appearing between her eyebrows. Jiang Yinhua, who carried endless majesty, was currently playing with a special fruit that looked like a blood moon and exuded terrifying life energy. At her feet, there was a charred black and greatly shrunk corpse of a giant python. From beginning to end, her attention was on the blood moon fruit in her hand. As for a certain big black rat that screams, the life energy contained in this blood moon fruit should be able to take my fire phoenix body to the next level. By then, that woman by Ruowei will definitely not be my opponent. This bad woman has been deliberately blocking my communication with Beiyuan, which has prevented my relationship with Beiyuan from taking any further steps. Jiang Yinhua gritted his teeth when he thought of Bai Ruowei. At Donghua Academy before, after Chen Beiyuan passed the Soul Beast Tower, she made an agreement with Chen Beiyuan that she would go to him to detoxify him in the next few days. As a result, Bai Ruowei, a bad woman, actually got in the way and often blocked her in the middle of the road to discuss with her. During that time, Chen Beiyuan was still puzzled that Jiang Yinhua never came to the door, thinking that the sun was coming out from the west. But in fact, not far from the gate of the Chen family, these two goddesses in the eyes of countless men in Yanjing City were entangled with each other and had a passionate fight over a man. The more Jiang Yinhua thought about it, the angrier he became. He felt Nana's pain, and his anger grew stronger. That bad woman doesn't use it, so what if she does? At this moment, the bad woman by Ruowei, who was longed for by Jiang Yinhua, was on the road to find a second chance. This time she once again conquered a new licking dog. It was a little black tiger with wings. Under the guidance of this little black tiger, Bai Ruowei soon received another special opportunity. It was an inconspicuous special vine growing on a cliff. But if you look closely at this special vine, it actually looks like a dragon, like a wooden dragon. Wood dragon vine and dragon race. There is a special dragon race called wooden dragon. Wood dragon vine is the body left behind by the degeneration of wood dragon. This object is not afraid of water and fire, can ward off wind and thunder, and can be used as a weapon, turning into a wooden dragon to attack the opponent. It also contains terrifying life energy, which can be used to heal injuries. Good boy. This is the reward you deserve. After Bai Ruowei harvested the wood dragon vine, she poured out a bowl of medicinal wine containing life energy and placed it in front of the little black tiger. She encouraged and praised it, and gently touched its head to show encouragement. Seeing this scene, the boiling bear next to him was so angry that his lungs almost exploded, and he wanted to have X with the little black tiger in front of him. Seeing these two brainless things being played with by their master, they played with them as much as they wanted. The snow-white fox standing on by Ruowei's shoulder had a look of disdain. Who doesn't know that she is the treasure in the owner's palm? You are right, master. The female fox looked at her master expectantly with wide eyes. However, Bai Ruowei didn't pay any attention to it. Instead, she looked at the wooden whip in her hand and waved it casually, making a huge sound. At this moment, holding the wooden whip, tall and charming, she looked like a noble queen. Suddenly, she seemed to have thought of something, and a trace of expectation and shyness appeared on her face. If Beiyuan disobeys. Just when she fell into some kind of beautiful fantasy, her expression suddenly changed, as if she had noticed something in advance, and the wooden whip in her hand whipped toward the sky. Roar! The wood dragon vine instantly transformed into a wooden dragon, whose entire body was condensed from giant trees and attacked in a certain direction. Just at this moment, a silvery white light came rapidly from the distance. What the hell? Braga was stunned for a moment, a little confused by the sudden, huge wooden dragon. Bang! A big black rat with a charred body and a big bear tail was directly knocked out of the silver-white light by the giant wooden dragon and hit the ground hard. Boom! 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 Before a certain dizzy big black mouse could recover, an overwhelming whipping hit him. Half an hour later, Bai Ruowei looked at a hairless wolf tail in the huge pit with an expressionless face, and Braga disappeared without a trace. If Beiyuan hadn't said that he would personally twist off your head, do you really think you could have escaped? Just when Chen Beiyuan and others were looking for an opportunity, the fighting in the Void Secret Realm myriad races also started quietly.
Loving the audiobooks? Your support on Patreon helps me keep them coming. Check out the link in the description. A huge thank you for your support. Now, let's dive into the next chapter.
Chapter 160, Part 1. Unlike Chen Beiyuan, Jiang Yinhua, and Bai Ruowei who can cheat to search for chance treasures, the other myriad races prodigy do not have this ability. If you want to find the so-called opportunities and treasures, you really have to rely on luck. In comparison, the most important thing is to eliminate other opponents first and obtain enough void tokens to ensure that you can enter the next round of void test. Therefore, fighting between each other is naturally inevitable. In the blink of an eye, 3 days passed. Red Dragon Demon Cave. Chen Beiyuan sat cross-legged on the ground. For the past 3 days, he had been guarding the BLO*DY dragon egg in front of him, paying no attention to what was happening in the outside world. If he guessed correctly, the little silly dragon Anu is now in a very special stage, so he must be careful. If he is disturbed, something unpredictable may happen. Anu's transformation should be over today. There's still enough time. Chen Beiyuan's eyes flashed with a divine light. He used Heaven's Child fortune gazing technique to look at the luck in the sky above the blood-colored dragon egg in front of him, and murmured to himself. He raised his eyes and looked at the void list covering the entire secret realm sky, with a trace of ripples in his eyes. In the past 3 days, the competition and fighting in the outside world have been very fierce. Prodigy from all races showed their divine abilities and started fierce fighting, competing for the void token and chance treasures. Prodigy of all races die almost every day. No matter how powerful you are in the outside world, no one will care about you here. These days, who can come in and haven't clicked on the background yet? Damn or die. Void list. Record the number of void tokens held by void walkers. First place, Jiang Yunfan, Human Race Donghua Empire, 98. Second place, Ao Lai Dragon Race Ferocious Beast, 96. Third place, Tushan Susu, Qingxiu Fox Clan Ferocious Beast, 90. Fourth place, Tina, Night Elf Alien, 78. Fifth place, Wang Daoxian, Human Race Donghua Empire, 69. Sixth place, Lion Caesar, Human Race Bald Eagle Alliance, 65. Seventh place, Bloodbat Aga, Human Race Sunfall Empire, 63. Eighth place, Gar, Human Race Slavic Empire, 61. Ninth place, BLO*DY Bones, BLO*DY Tauren. Alien, 59. 10th place, Yuna Ito, Human Race Akura Country, 49. 11th place, Wei Wushuang, Human Race Donghua Empire, 48. 21. Bai Ruowei, Human Race Donghua Empire, 28. 23rd, Jiang Yinhua, Human Race Donghua Empire, 25. In just 3 days, no fewer than hundreds of prodigy from all races had fallen. This does not include those who voluntarily gave up the Void Order and quit midway. The Void ranking is refreshed every 24 hours, and each refresh number indicates that prodigy of all races are being eliminated one after another. Almost none of the top 10 on the Void list are simple things. Each of them has a background that reaches the sky. Most of them are not inferior to me, the young master of the Chen family. This time in the secret realm of the Void, it can be said to be a battle between dragons and tigers. Chen Beiyuan's eyes flashed with a strange color. Jiang Yunfan, who is number 1 on the Void ranking, won't talk about it. Ao Lai, who ranks second on the Void ranking, is the direct bloodline of a dragon emperor on Wanlong Island. Wanlong Island is a terrorist force that is even larger than the Donghua Empire. Tushan Su, who is ranked 3rd on the Void ranking, is from the Qingxiu Fox clan, and his power is so unfathomable that even Dragon Race must be afraid of him. However, although the Qingxiu Fox clan belongs to the Ferocious Beast clan, they have a good relationship with the human race. Tina, who ranks 4th on the Void ranking, is the King clan of the Night Elves. The Night Elves are also among the top existences among foreign races. They have even established a country in Western Europe and are a headache for all major overseas countries. Among the top 10 of the entire Void ranking, only Jiang Yunfan and Wang Daoxian from the Donghua Empire squeezed in, and the rest were almost outside the top 10. Of course, Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yinhua, the 2 lucky heroines, were originally qualified to compete for the top 10 positions. However, during this period of time, they have spent most of their time looking for chance treasures to improve themselves and have not invested much time in the Void Order. Chen Beiyuan predicts that under his control during this period, the strength of the 2 women will definitely improve a lot. If they want to compete for the top 10 on the Void list, the 2 of them will definitely get an extremely high position. The higher the ranking on the Void ranking, the more rewards you can get from the Void Temple. Chen Beiyuan also found his ranking at the bottom of the Void list at this moment. 1007th place. Chen Beiyuan, Human Race Donghua Empire. 1. This is not surprising. He stayed in the Red Dragon Demon Cave for 3 consecutive days without ever going out. He still only had a void token on his body. In this case, being at the bottom is normal. He is still $19 away from the next round of tests in the Temple of the Void. If you don't get 19 Void tokens within the remaining 4 days, I'm afraid he will be excluded from Void's secret realm and directly eliminated. In fact, as the young master of the Chen family, Chen Beiyuan became the focus of many interested people after entering the Void secret realm. In the eyes of many people with Chen Beiyuan's strength, he is definitely a strong contender for the top 10 in the Void ranking, or even very high up there. As a result, after 3 days, Chen Beiyuan, who was still far away from the top 1,000 people, undoubtedly caused quite a stir. Except for a few people who know his true strength. In the eyes of prodigy from other clans, he, the young master of the Chen family, who has become famous during this period, is obviously not worthy of his reputation, and many people are even ready to see his jokes. Chen Beiyuan knew this very well, but he didn't care at all. The sparrow knows the ambition of the swan. Useless arguments will only waste time. Only facts can make some people's faces look bad. Hurry! Hurry! Chen Beiyuan walked up to the blood-colored dragon egg, stretched out his hand, and stroked the rough eggshell, feeling the strong heartbeat inside. A look of anticipation appeared on his face. According to his calculations, the transformation of the little silly dragon Anu is about to end. Yes, it's just transformation. This little silly dragon has been transforming in the past 3 days. Normally, ferocious beasts need to reach the 7th grade before they can transform. Of course, some ferocious beasts with special bloodlines and extraordinary talents do not have such restrictions, and can even transform when they are born. Normally, with the terrifying talent of the little silly dragon, he would have been able to transform long ago. However, under the care of Chen Beiyuan, this guy is eating so well. Every meal is high-level ferocious beast meat, high-level ferocious beast blood, and occasionally some high-level ferocious beast milk, Beiyuan essence. In just a few months, I was eating a lot of nutrients. The energy that had been sleeping all the time before was accumulated in the digestion body. Now it is almost digested and has finally begun to transform. I just don't know what this little silly dragon will look like after it transforms. Click, click. Under Chen Beiyuan's expectant gaze, cracks began to appear on the BLO*DY dragon egg in front of him. The little silly dragon Anu finally started to transform. This should be the first one in the author's works. None of the previous silly dogs had ever transformed. Chapter 161, Part 1. Click, click. Cracks appeared from inside the blood-colored dragon egg, as if something was struggling to come out. However, the shell of this BLO*DY dragon egg was obviously too hard. Even though there were countless cracks and gaps, it still did not break. And this undoubtedly angered a certain little devil inside. Bang! A small pink fist suddenly punched a huge hole in the hard and rough blood-colored eggshell. Boom! The entire BLO*DY dragon egg was forcibly dismantled directly from the inside to the outside. The BLO*DY eggshell above was knocked over directly. Under Chen Beiyuan's expectant gaze, there was a finely carved man with snow-white skin, tiny dragon horns, and dark purple eyes. She had scarlet dragon scales on key parts of her body. There seemed to be a tiny little tail waving slightly behind her. The cute little loli, who was soaked in transparent egg liquid, appeared in front of him. A pair of ignorant, dark purple eyes were staring at him with curiosity. When he saw the little Lolita in front of him, Chen Beiyuan felt that the dragon race blood in his body began to stir wildly, as if he was surrendering to the little Lolita in front of him. This is normal. The dragon race bloodline in his body was condensed by absorbing the blood of the BLO*DY dragon emperor, and thus awakened the beast's divine ability, blood dragon transformation. Now, after meeting the rightful owner, some strange reactions are normal. Chen Beiyuan's expression remained unchanged, and he easily suppressed this strangeness with his own terrifying demonic thoughts. He looked at the little silly dragon Anu who had successfully transformed in front of him with soft eyes. He could easily sense that after successfully transforming, Anu was undoubtedly much stronger than before, and was not far away from breaking through the 7th grade beast. A Yuan hug? Okay, hug. Looking at the little silly dragon Anu with a kawaii look on his face, he opened his pink arms and wanted to hug him. Chen Beiyuan only felt that a certain mentality in his heart was touched, and he had the same strange feeling as if a stupid thing raised a great accomplishment person. Well, this might mean raising Anu as a daughter. Even though he was only 18 years old and had a daughter who seemed to be only 8 years old, it was a bit inconvenient, but it didn't matter. He bent down to take Anu out of the eggshell and took out a towel from the system space. He first wiped his body clean, and then took out a set of fitting clothes to put on. As early as before, Chen Beiyuan had prepared the possibility of Anu's transformation in advance, and prepared clothes. It has to be said that he always pays a lot more attention and pampering to Anu, the little silly dragon he raised. From the beginning to the end, Anu was carried out with an obedient and cute expression, like a finely carved rag doll. Soon, Anu appeared in front of Chen Beiyuan, wearing a red sleeve shawl dress, with 2 cute buns on her head, covering the 2 dragon horns, with a cute face and biting her fingers. Chen Beiyuan nodded with satisfaction, with a bit of relief on his face. Putting aside everything else, Anu's successful transformation will undoubtedly save him a lot of trouble. Without changing the ontology, it is undoubtedly possible to reduce the possibility of early exposure. The previous Anu's own identity was still too obvious, and it was really difficult to conceal the familiarity with her existence. Especially those strange double eyes are his iconic feature. Now, turning into a human form has added a lot of confusion. Those strange double eyes also turned into dark purple eyes. As long as you don't use it easily, those strange double eyes will not appear. But for some reason, Chen Beiyuan always felt that Anu's pair of dark purple eyes felt inexplicably familiar, very much like the way he used the prison-suppressing magic manual. It is said that when a ferocious beast takes shape, it will refer to some of the characteristics of the person closest to it and the person it loves the most. Chen Beiyuan thought to himself. Obviously, this rumor should be true. However, Chen Beiyuan obviously didn't notice the strange look in Anu's eyes at this moment. She had never been so obedient before she transformed. At this time, a sound of stomach gurgling suddenly sounded. Anu is hungry. Anu, who had always been very well-behaved, had a special change in his eyes at this moment, looking straight at Chen Beiyuan in front of him. At this moment, she was almost at the height of Chen Beiyuan's waist, and where her eyes are focused. Chen Beiyuan was stunned and almost didn't react. Anu stretched out his hand, then pointed at himself, and opened his mouth. Just like Jerry's silly nephew in Tom and Jerry, he looked at him expectantly. You are so big. Snapped. In the end, a certain little silly dragon not only failed to get what he wanted, but also suffered a brain breakdown. I knew there was something wrong. When have you ever been so obedient? It's like a different dragon. He didn't get what he wanted. At this moment, the little silly dragon that had always been pretending to be very well-behaved exploded in an instant. He jumped, spun, and sat on Chen Beiyuan's head, grabbing his hair wildly, biting and messing around. Spit. In the end, it wasn't until Chen Beiyuan took out a bottle of animal milk that he calmed down the incompetent and furious little dragon that kept barking. 3 days have passed. The leeks are almost grown, and it's time to harvest them. Forest of 10,000 beasts. A wide area of ground. A huge alien with an ugly face and skin as hard as stone was sitting on the ground at the moment. This is clearly an adult ogre. In front of this ogre, a bonfire was burning. A few sharp branches were stuck in the ground, and food was hanging and being grilled. At a glance, the barbecue food was a blonde head. The dazzling blonde hair was now swallowed up by the flames, and the ferocious and desperate face was also swallowed up by the flames bit by bit, and it was sizzling and oily. Next to the head were his hands, feet, and torso, which were pierced on the branches one by one and placed on the bonfire for barbecue. Apparently, the raw materials for this barbecue were contributed by a certain blonde prodigy of the human race. Unlucky enough, he met the ogre, the best at sneak attack and hunting among the alien races. In the end, he became the prey and was dismembered bit by bit. Click. Perhaps thinking that it was almost done, the ogre stretched out his hand, pulled out his eyes, threw them into his mouth, bit into them, and the juice exploded instantly. That ugly and disgusting face showed an expression of enjoyment. Human delicious. Just when the ogre was about to continue enjoying the delicious food, he suddenly discovered that there were 2 figures, one large and one small, beside the campfire. Chapter 162, Part 1. Ogre Ibuprofen, a rank 6 alien race, a mutant hybrid between the human race and the vampire race, the 721st on the Void ranking, and holds 6 Void tokens. Chen Beiyuan, who was holding Anu's hand, didn't even look at the horrific scene burning in the bonfire in front of him. He looked at the ogre Ibuprofen in front of him with a faint look and said calmly. Born in the Chen family of Donghua, he often went to live on the border front when he was a child, and he saw countless human tragedies. The scene before him was nothing to him. Damn it! The ugly and disgusting face of the ogre Ibuprofen suddenly changed. He stopped chewing in his mouth and felt a creeping fear all over his body. At this moment, it seemed as if it was being targeted by the giant dragon at the top of the food chain, without any thought of resistance. This feeling of fear has only been clearly felt by the monsters in Secret Realm. Wait, Your Excellency, I am willing to pay. A void power suddenly appeared on it. Before the power of the void completely covers its body. Click, the huge head was violently twisted off, and immediately a huge force came, and the vertebrae were pulled out like a sheep or scorpion. Puff, smelly blood spurted out from his neck, like a fountain of blood. Snapped. A void token fell from the hand of the headless corpse, and the power of the void was suddenly interrupted and disappeared without a trace. Just a little bit. The ogre ibuprofen showed despair and unwillingness. It was obvious that he did not expect the visitor to be so decisive and directly killed him. It even chose to give in. Every Void Walker who enters the Void Secret Realm is qualified to give up the trial. As long as you choose to give up, you will be enveloped bit by the power of the Void, and will eventually be teleported away from the Secret Realm. And its Void Order will also become an ownerless thing and can be obtained by later generations. However, this kind of transmission takes time and can be interrupted. It didn't even see the person's face, so it chose to give up the trial without hesitation, and chose to be covered in the Void and teleport away. It already showed the intention of showing weakness and bowing. As a result, the other party didn't even give it the slightest chance. Why? The unscrewed ogre's head looked at the strange human in front of him and muttered to himself. Cha! Chen Beiyuan expressionlessly inserted the sheep scorpion in his hand into the bonfire, letting the flames burn it bit by bit. With the remaining consciousness of the ogre ibuprofen, he looked at the strange human in front of him, and then at the human head and limbs stuck on the branches for barbecue next to him, and seemed to understand something. The darkness, like the tide, swallowed up its consciousness little by little. The weak should prey on the strong, as it should be. Foreigners can kill people, and people can also kill foreigners. The blood feud between them has long been forged. Things like the ogre killing humans with ibuprofen are not an isolated case. They can happen in every corner of the Void Secret Realm. The only problem is that it was unlucky to meet Chen Beiyuan. Swish. On the ground, the Void token of the ogre ibuprofen was sucked up by a suction force, and came into Chen Beiyuan's hand, gently colliding with his Void token. A burst of Void power flashed through, and the two Void tokens suddenly merged together. The number of the Void Order in Chen Beiyuan's hand suddenly changed from 1 to 7. However, his ranking on the Void ranking is still number 1007, without any change. You need to wait until the next day for it to be refreshed again. Suck, suck, suck. Anu, who was slurping the bottle, stared with a pair of big round eyes. He didn't react at all to the BLO*DY scene in front of him, and continued to slurp the animal's milk. But after sucking and sucking, it stopped. Anu looked at the empty bottle in his hand in confusion, and then looked at Yuan with his cute big eyes. Anu still want? No, I'll get fat. Snapped. At the bonfire behind him, the ogre was stuck on the ground and grilled. The head of the ogre, which was still staring at death, suddenly had a milk bottle hit on it. A certain angry little silly dragon was reluctant to hit a Yuan with a milk bottle, so he could only vent his anger on other targets. Let's go look for the next target. Snow Demon Girl, rank 6 middle-level alien, 416th on the Void ranking, holds 9 Void tokens. Chen Beiyuan looked at the Snow Demon Girl who was holding her neck and showing her original shape, with sharp teeth and claws, and a ferocious face. Her eyes were calm, and terrifying demonic flames suddenly burst out from her palms, burning her up. Snapped. After the flames burned, the token hidden in the Snow Demon Girl's body suddenly fell into his hand. 8-foot female, rank 6 elementary level alien, 916th on the Void ranking, holding 2 Void tokens. The 8-foot girl who was hunting suddenly heard a cold voice coming from behind her. Before she could react, a hot magic flame penetrated the center of her eyebrows, and the skin all over her body burned instantly. Snapped. The Void Order fell to the ground. Also dropped along with it were a pair of white blouses the size of watermelons. Anu looked curious and wanted to pick up the blouse that was bigger than her head to take a look, but she got a slap on the butt. Don't pick things up. Chen Beiyuan educated him with a serious face, but he couldn't help but glance at him a few times. It has to be said that the method of cutting leeks that Chen Beiyuan chose before is clear. Rather than hunting them one by one from the beginning, it is better to wait for the leeks to grow and cut them bit by bit. His own perception is already strong, and coupled with the sense of smell of Anu, this little silly dragon, it is not difficult to find the target. Of course, in addition to alien races and ferocious beasts, he also encountered some human races during this period. In this regard, Chen Beiyuan showed a more friendly side. Leave the token and cut off your arms, and you can go away. You brat. Who do you think you are? How dare you be so arrogant with me, a little guy who doesn't have all his hair? Boy, the little guy next to you is pretty good looking. It makes me happy. Maybe I can let you go. It's a pity that these days, it's hard to persuade the devil with words, so who would give up the opportunity easily? Either they just run away without saying a word, or there are those who want to surround and kill them because of the large number of people. Then there's no way. The opportunity has been given. There is nothing you can do if you don't listen. You will die anyway. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Let me go. Let me go. In just one night, the number of human lives, animal lives, and alien lives lost at the hands of Chen Beiyuan was no less than double digits. He was like a god of murd *R, harvesting every target he encountered with an expressionless expression. Chapter 163, Part 1. The next day, with the end of the 24 hours, the void list, covering the entire void secret realm, began to refresh. In an instant, all the myriad races prodigy located in the void secret realm stopped what they were doing, and all looked at the void list that was starting to refresh in the sky, with a hint of expectation in their eyes. Actually, rather than looking at the void list, it's actually just looking at the top 10. People will only remember the strong ones at the top. As for the following, the top prodigies who can enter the top 10 of the void ranking are almost all the top forces in the world, and each of them has a big background. In a sense, void list not only shows his personal strength. Behind it is a secret competition among the top forces. Donghua Empire, Wanlong Island, Qingxiu Fox Clan, Night Elf Kingdom, Bald Eagle Alliance, Sunfall Empire, Slavic Empire, Tarn Empire, Sakura Kingdom. Prodigy, the top forces in the world, has almost completed the top 10 on the void list. Among them, the Donghua Empire occupies 2 places, faintly beating out other top forces. This undoubtedly made the rest of the human race countries and the rest of the alien beast forces feel unprecedentedly dissatisfied. Those who can enter the secret realm of the void are prodigy of all races, and they all have their own pride. Who is willing to let the forces behind him be suppressed? Who is willing to admit that they are inferior to others? Therefore, in the past few days, prodigy of all races have almost been holding their breath. The top 10 positions on the void ranking have changed almost every day. The competition is so fierce that it is unimaginable. Ao Lai, who was born in 10,000 Dragons Island and ranked second on the void ranking, has always been very dissatisfied with Jiang Yunfan, who is pressing down on him, and has always wanted to outdo him. It's a pity that every time, there are only a few void tokens missing, resulting in only second place. In today's void ranking, Master Ao Lai will definitely be able to reach the top of the list. The man named Jiang Yunfan from the Donghua Empire was just lucky enough to get a few extra void tokens, and he only occupied the top spot on the void ranking for a few days. I heard that the number 1 young person in the Donghua Empire today is a human named Chen Beiyuan. Even Jiang Yunfan is no match for him. As a result, this person is still ranked at the bottom of the 1,000 list. Therefore, it can be seen that the Donghua people are weak. Jiang Yunfan, who ranks first on the void ranking, must have some moisture. Jiang Yunfan can't even compare to a loser at the bottom. Why should he compare with Lord Ao Lai? Yes, Lord Ao Lai is the direct descendant of Wanlong Island. He possesses the noble dragon bloodline. How can he be compared with the heir of the human race empire? In this void, secret realm, Lord Ao Lai's strength is the best among all. Family first. This king of the void must be Lord Ao Lai. As a direct descendant of Wanlong Island, Ao Lai is naturally surrounded by many followers who have not yet transformed. Most of these followers are hybrid ferocious beasts with part of the dragon race bloodline. Facing Ao Lai, the dragon son of Wanlong Island, they naturally showed their willingness to surrender subconsciously. In order to please this direct descendant, they did not hesitate to disparage Chen Beiyuan, Jiang Yunfan, and other Donghua people to improve their own reputation. Facing the compliments from the followers around him, Ao Lai naturally nodded slightly and accepted it proudly. Although Ao Lai is still only a 6th grade ferocious beast now, he has transformed in advance due to his powerful dragon race bloodline. Of course, being the proud dragon race is albeit in human form. He still maintains most of the characteristics of dragon race. There is a pair of majestic dragon horns on the top of his head. His cheeks are covered with fiery red dragon scales, and a thick dragon tail behind him is burning with hot dragon flames. I killed many human race experts yesterday, and the number of void tokens in my hand has reached an astonishing 156, which is 60 more than yesterday. I must be number 1 on the void ranking today. The sky began to blur with those fiery red and proud dragon eyes, as if they had anticipated the next result. However, when the void list was refreshed and the rankings were revealed, Ao Lai's proud face froze instantly. Not only it, but also the rest of the prodigy tribes fell into deathly silence when they saw the latest void list, because the top 10 on the void list have undergone drastic changes. A void walker belonging to the human race Donghua Empire actually made it into the top 10, and even ranked in the top 3, almost knocking off the first place. Void list. Record the number of void tokens held by void walkers, refreshed every 24 hours. First place, Jiang Yunfan, human race Donghua Empire, 198. Second place, Chen Beiyuan, human race Donghua Empire, 197. Third place, Ao Lai, dragon race ferocious beast, 156. Fourth place, Tushan Susu, Qingxiu Fox Clan ferocious beast, 155. Fifth place, Tina, night elf alien, 148. Sixth place, Wang Daoxian, human race Donghua Empire, 132. Seventh place, Bloodbat Aga, human race Sunfall Empire, 108. Eighth place, Lion Caesar, human race Bald Eagle Alliance, 105. Ninth place, Scar, Human Race Slavic Empire, 98, 10th place. BLO asterisk DY Bones, BLO asterisk DY Torn Alien, 89. In an instant, the powerful men of all races in the entire Void secret realm fell into a deathly silence as they looked at the unfamiliar yet familiar name that ranked second on the Void list. Many prodigies of all races are familiar with Chen Beiyuan, and are even very familiar with him. After all, the Donghua Chen family has always been famous all over the world for beating up vicious alien beasts. Who among the ferocious alien beasts entrenched near the Donghua Empire has not been attacked by the Chen family? Even if you don't know him, you will still be impressed by Chen Beiyuan's name at the bottom of the Void list every day, coupled with the help of caring people. The dignified young master of the Chen family has always been at the bottom of the Void ranking. It's not just Prodigy, who is a ferocious alien beast waiting to see the joke. Even some people inside human race are waiting for a laugh. Doubts about Chen Beiyuan have never ceased. As for the person involved, Chen Beiyuan seemed to have disappeared, never appeared, and no explanation was given. But now, all doubts have disappeared. Overnight, from the bottom position of 1,000 people away, he went all the way to the second place in the Void ranking, pushing Ao Lai, the Dragon Son, to the third place, and almost knocked down the first place Jiang Yunfan. What is this concept? This almost slapped the faces of everyone who had questioned before, and severely stepped on them. Chapter 164, Part 1. Ao Lai's originally arrogant face instantly turned livid, and he stared at the Void list, almost spitting out fire. I thought that I would definitely be able to rank first on the Void ranking this time. As a result, not only did he fail, but he was also pushed to third place on the Void ranking by a Donghua guy. This result is undoubtedly a slap in the face for the proud dragon race. Originally, Jiang Yunfan had been suppressed for 3 days because he was so angry that he had no place to vent his anger. Now there is another Chen Beiyuan. Boom! Terrifying dragon flames filled his body, and a terrifying high temperature instantly erupted, and a liquid similar to lava emerged from the surface of his skin. The pair of dragon eyes that were almost ready to spit out fire slowly lowered their eyes, as if looking for a few targets to vent their anger on. Bang! The ferocious beasts that had just spoken to please were instantly swallowed up by the terrifying lava. They didn't even make a sound to beg for mercy. Their flesh and BLO asterisk D evaporated instantly, turning into white bones on the ground. Dragon race is not a good-tempered race. Among the many ferocious beasts and alien races, the dragon race is also at the top of the list. Even the human race countries are not willing to provoke them easily. Under such circumstances, there are naturally very few existences that dragon race can be afraid of. As a result, they naturally developed an arrogant character. Find the Donghua man named Chen Beiyuan for my highness. If you can't find it, you won't have to live anymore. The furious Ao Lai obviously held a grudge against Chen Beiyuan. As the heir to the royal family of the Donghua Empire, Jiang Yunfan would probably cause a war between the Donghua Empire and Wanlong Island if he were killed. Therefore, he still has some scruples. In comparison, Chen Beiyuan, the young master of the Chen family, is obviously easier to manipulate. He didn't believe it. Could the Donghua Empire go to war with Wanlong Island over a young master from an aristocratic family? No matter how powerful the Chen family is, they are not the boss of the Donghua Empire. His father is the owner of Beilong Island of Wanlong Island and one of the most powerful people in the world. In terms of background alone, he, Ao Lai, is not weaker than anyone else. Of course, if the Donghua man named Chen Beiyuan is willing to voluntarily hand over his void order as the dragon son of Wanlong Island, he will not be able to show mercy and spare his life. Everything depends on whether the other party understands or not. Don't worry, Sir Ao Lai. We will find Chen Beiyuan's location as soon as possible. The followers of the ferocious beasts around him all agreed. Do they dare to refuse? The white bones and corpses next to them clearly told them the seriousness of offending Ao Lai, the son of the dragon. BLO asterisk DY Jungle. Jiang Yunfan looked at the names on the void list, and a hint of complexity and solemnity appeared on his majestic face. As expected of Chen Beiyuan, he soared to second place on the void ranking overnight, almost knocking you out. The Donghua Chen family has a Qilin. In terms of age alone, he is almost one step older than Chen Beiyuan. But in terms of strength, he probably doesn't have much of an advantage. Such talent can be described as terrifying. Chen Beiyuan, a member of the Chen family of Donghua, dressed in a green shirt, with 3,000 green hair hanging down, Tu Shansu's face was charming, and his eyes seemed to be full of charm. His face moved slightly, and he murmured to himself, "If you don't make a sound, it's enough. If you make a blockbuster, what a Chen Beiyuan." Wearing a mysterious Taoist robe and a weathered face, Wang Daoxian's eyes seemed to have the 5 elements and 8 trigrams flashing through his eyes, with a hint of emotion on his face. The Donghua Empire accounts for almost 3 of the top 10 on the void list, and there is almost a faint trend of becoming the first empire of the human race. Will prodigy of all races really agree to this kind of thing? Who will be willing to be a stepping stone? Not only the ferocious beast aliens don't want to see this kind of thing, but even the human race itself doesn't want to see it. Lion King Caesar looked at the void list solemnly, his expression dark, and he didn't know what he was thinking. Snapped, wearing a gentleman's uniform and a rosy face. The bloodbat Yaga casually threw a blood-drained alien corpse to the ground and looked at the list on the void list with cold eyes. Especially after he paused for a moment when the name Chen Beiyuan suddenly appeared. A sickly flush appeared on his face. I really want to try how delicious your blood is. The Donghua people need to restrain themselves, otherwise, this void, secret realm will probably become their exclusive show. However, those ferocious beasts and alien races will definitely take the lead, so let them consume the power of the Donghua people first. Gao from the Slavic Empire looked cold and muttered to himself. He is huge like a huge and ferocious ice bear, but he has cunning and wisdom that belies his appearance. This time, Beiyuan became a sensation and made the Donghua Empire famous. At the same time, it also unintentionally made the entire Donghua Empire a leader and was targeted by countless people. If I guess correctly, something will definitely happen against the Donghua Empire next. Even Beiyuan will be deliberately targeted by many parties. Leng Ruobing's face was solemn, and she obviously saw the danger. At this moment, beside her, in addition to the blazing bear and the little black tiger at the beginning, there was a 2-headed giant turtle and an ocelot. During this period of time, she recovered several indigenous licking dogs one after another, so she got a lot of opportunities and her strength greatly increased. Volcanic Canyon. Zhang Yanhua was locked in a bitter battle at the moment. The terrifying phoenix real fire erupted one after another, repelling the lava giants that were pouring in around him one by one. In her hand, she was holding a lava core that was emitting dazzling light. Obviously, this is what makes those lava giants crazy. Even though Zhang Yanhua's strength was terrifying, he was gradually at a disadvantage when faced with a steady stream of lava giants. At this moment, on the surface of the volcano, there was a figure lying behind the boulder, quietly peeking at the battlefield below. This person is surprisingly Lin Xiao, the son of Fortune who was in the desert before. He was actually able to escape from that forbidden desert place and come here. Master, is this the opportunity you mentioned? Lin Xiao looked at the battlefield below, lowered his head, and spoke to the black ring in his hand. The black ring suddenly emitted a divine light, and a majestic and charming voice suddenly appeared. Boy, you are blessed. I thought you could get a piece of lava core to forge your soul and break through the 6th grade War King. I didn't expect that there is a girl with the body of a fire phoenix here. The body of a fire phoenix is the most powerful thing in the world. It is an extremely rare and powerful physique, and its owner almost has the ability to be reborn from the ashes. If you can mate with it, you will definitely get some great benefits. The body of Fire Phoenix? Lin Xiao looked shocked. Chapter 165, Part 1. The body of Fire Phoenix? Master, are you sure Zhang Yanhua really has the body of a Fire Phoenix? Lin Zhao's face was startled, and then his face became excited, and even his breathing became a little faster. That's natural. Are you questioning my teacher's gaze? The charming and majestic voice inside the black ring seemed dissatisfied. Xiao didn't dare. Xiao was just excited and a little unbelievable. Lin Xiao heard that the master in the black ring was dissatisfied, and he quickly bowed his head and apologized. The origin of his master is not simple. He was trapped in the forbidden desert before and could not find a way out no matter what. Just when he fell into despair and thought about whether to give up the void order and was teleported away, he was suddenly swallowed by the desert sand and entered a place. A magnificent ruined palace. In that dilapidated palace, he found a black ring enshrined. According to the charming and majestic voice inside the black ring, she is the 9 profound immortal from Kyushu Xuanjie. She was murdered *red by an adulterer, causing her body to be broken and her soul to be broken. Only a trace of her remnant soul is stored in the Xian ring, and came to this world. Lin Xiao was able to come here because he was destined to her, and he was willing to accept her as a registered disciple, teach him the secrets of magical skills, and train him to become a peerless powerhouse. She only hoped that Lin Xiao would one day rebuild her physical body, return to the Kyushu mysterious realm with her, and kill her enemies. At that time, she will consider accepting Lin Xiao as her direct disciple. Seeing the huge opportunity and the pie hitting his head, Lin Xiao instantly fell into ecstasy, and without saying a word, he knelt down and kowtowed to become his master. Of course, he is not a fool. He knows that evil objects and demons from other secret realm worlds often come to the real world and confuse people's hearts. In order to test whether the fairy master stored in the mysterious ring was real, he first proposed to leave this desert. As a result, he really left successfully. Moreover, I don't know if the fairy master in the Xian Ring saw his little thoughts, and with a few random guidances, he got a lot of benefits in the Void Secret Realm. In addition, the fairy master pointed out several mistakes in his cultivation, which made his cultivation improve by leaps and bounds. He benefited a lot time and time again, making Lin Xiao convinced of the identity of this master. Even this time, he came to the Volcano Canyon to get the lava core and break through the 6th Grade War King, all because of the intention of his fairy master. However, I didn't expect that I would get an unexpected bonus, meeting Zhang Yunhua, the emperor's daughter. Lin Xiao, whose heart was already tickled by the charming and majestic voice of his fairy master, now looked at Zhang Yunhua with fiery eyes. He who possesses the wordless medical scripture is naturally aware of the existence of the fire phoenix body. People with such a special physique can almost be said to be born kings of flames, and have the power to control all the flames in the world. What is even more terrifying is that this kind of physique has the terrifying talent of rebirth from the ashes. Even though he was seriously injured and dying just a moment ago, he may be back to his peak condition the next moment. It can be called a scumbag to the extreme, although this kind of rebirth talent ability is limited. But it has to be denied that people with such a physique must be one of the most difficult beings once they grow up. According to the unwritten medical classic, those with the body of a fire phoenix must have strong fire in their body, which is prone to accumulation of fire poison and has extremely strong desires. If I can M*T with him through special means, I can inherit part of the talent of the fire phoenix body. It seems that I have to be a hero to save the beauty. Lin Xiao looked greedily at the beautiful and majestic figure below who was in trouble and being surrounded by countless lava giants, and murmured to himself. At this moment, he not only coveted Zhang Yunhua's body, but also had some dark thoughts. That is to take revenge on Chen Beiyuan. He knew very well that Zhang Yunhua was Chen Beiyuan's woman. He had to pay back the humiliation Chen Beiyuan had given him before. However, at this moment, he did not realize that deep in his shoulder, a very secret evil thought was quietly monitoring him. Forest of 10,000 Beasts. Chen Beiyuan, who was carrying the little silly dragon Anu on his shoulders, had twinkling eyes and a trace of thinking on his face. The 9 profound immortal sons of the 9 continents Xuanjie. This person did not appear in the original work, so he is a hidden character outside the plot, like a silly little dragon. Son of Fortune is really blessed. Even if he is suppressed so badly by me, he still has the opportunity to come to his door. However, there is something wrong with the situation of this 9th profound immortal. It is obvious that he was severely injured, and the remaining remnant soul is curled up in the mysterious ring, which is greatly restricted. I have to say that his previous method of deliberately leaving a trace of demonic thoughts in Lin Zhao's body was right. At least Son of Fortune Lin Zhao's every move cannot escape his eyes. Even the conversation between Lin Xiao and his fairy master was always under his surveillance. I don't know if it's because Lin Zhao's fairy master is too weak, or because the magic thoughts of the prison-suppressing magic scripture are too terrifying and hidden, so they have never been discovered. As for Lin Zhao's little thoughts, he naturally saw them clearly. I really don't have a long memory. I always like to do some little tricks that are not there. If you want to play the trick of a hero saving a beauty, you have to be able to do it. A sneer appeared at the corner of Chen Beiyuan's mouth. If he had just entered the Void Secret Realm, he would have been worried about whether something would happen to Zhang Yunhua. But now, with his intervention, Zhang Yunhua's strength has improved by leaps and bounds during this period, and it is unknown how much stronger it is than in the original work. Nowadays, it seems that he is in danger of being forced by the lava giant, but in fact, he is just honing his fighting skills. She didn't show her true strength. Therefore, he is not worried about Zhang Yunhua's safety. In contrast, he was more interested in Lin Zhao's fairy master. For some reason, he always had some weird premonitions. He always felt that there was something wrong with Lin Zhao's fairy master. This premonition was strange, but it also attracted his attention. Looks like I need to use Heaven's Child fortune gazing technique to check it out. Appearances and skin can deceive people, but luck and destiny cannot deceive people. I want to see what the hell you are. Chen Beiyuan's eyes were deep, and he murmured secretly. Suddenly, his ears tightened. Suck, suck, suck. The little silly dragon Anu was holding a new milk bottle in his mouth, slurping hard, and at the same time he was riding on his shoulders, holding his ears. His little face was full of excitement, as if he was riding a horse, and he was giggling. Ride a Yuan. Chapter 166, Part 1. Drive, drive, drive. The little silly dragon Anu held Chen Beiyuan's 2 big ears and held the milk bottle in his mouth. With an excited and silly face, he controlled the speed of a Yuan's progress and drove the milk bottle. He who rides a dragon will eventually be ridden by a dragon. although Chen Beiyuan didn't know why the little silly dragon Anu was so excited about riding on him. However, considering Dragon Race's arrogant character, it should be considered normal to like being on top. Of course, these are just small details. At this moment, he was obviously more interested in Lin Zhao's fairy master, who suddenly appeared. He likes to eliminate any potential threats in advance. He had not taken action before, mainly because Lin Zhao was in a forbidden desert place, and it was difficult for him to get over. Now, the distance between them is not that far. He raised his eyes and looked into the depths of the 10,000 Beast Forest, thought for a moment, and finally withdrew his gaze and murmured to himself, Ingshou fruit and marrow-cleansing fruit haven't started yet. That means there is still time. In that case, let's go see our old friends. Boom! Chen Beiyuan unabashedly erupted with terrifying demonic energy, and his whole body turned into a terrifying dark purple stream of light and rushed straight towards the north. The terrifying demonic flames burned the atmosphere wantonly, and the terrifying dark purple flames spread in all directions, almost burning up the entire sky. The huge movement caused by it instantly alarmed all the ferocious beasts and monsters in the entire 10,000 Beast Forest. In an instant, it attracted countless surprised and uncertain glances. Even many prodigy from all races were frightened by this sudden, huge movement. You must know that the secret realm of the void has many high-level ferocious beasts and monsters from other worlds with terrifying power. If one of them is not good, they will be targeted by those guys. Even Zhang Yunfan, Ao Lai, Tushan Su Su, monsters that are ranked in the first rank among the prodigy of all races would not do such crazy things. However, Chen Beiyuan did it so blatantly and unscrupulously, not caring about the monsters in the void's secret realm at all. Anu, who was so excited and silly, appeared in the sky before she could react. The bottle in her mouth was thrown away. She subconsciously clamped Yuan's neck to prevent her whole body from falling. When a normal person faces this sudden situation, even if he is not frightened to death, he will be frightened half of his life. Although this fool was just stunned for a moment, he immediately started shouting excitedly. Yuan so disgusting, harmful. Faster, 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 faster. Snapped. Suddenly a milk bottle fell from the sky and hit a certain behemoth, who was sleeping so sweetly. Swish. A pair of huge, ferocious eyes opened suddenly. Bloodshot eyes instantly covered them, full of shock and anger. As the overlord of this forest of beasts, no one has dared to disturb it for a long time. Who lives impatiently? The giant beast is huge as a hill slowly stood up and looked around with ferocious eyes, trying to find out who the murd asterisk rare was. Just at this moment, a sneaky big black mouse with a black body and a broken tail suddenly came into view. How come those damn fools haven't found me yet? When I go back, I must kill all those trash. Damn Chen Beiyuan. If it weren't for you, how could my noble prince of the Silver Wolf tribe end up like this? Even his tail would be lost. Just wait for me. Sooner or later one day. Braga huddled up in a ball and looked around furtively. At this moment, it is no longer as unruly as it was in the Temple of the Void. The entire wolf was extremely embarrassed, looking like a bereaved dog. It seems that it has not been doing well these days. Not only did he fail to find his own tribe, but he was beaten several times for no reason, and couldn't even eat anything that was hot in his mouth. At this moment, its resentment has almost condensed into substance. However, at this moment, it was chattering and full of resentment, but it had not yet noticed that a huge mountain-like thing suddenly appeared behind it, and a pair of violent huge eyes were staring at it without saying a word. Boom. A violent earthquake suddenly appeared. A small scream just appeared, and was immediately covered by the sound of a giant object hitting the ground. Boom. A huge stream of magic flames flashed across the sky, and the terrifying air explosion instantly attracted the attention of many terrifying beasts native to the Void's secret realm. A giant crocodile beast whose entire body was covered with pitch-black scales, stained with stinky sludge, and exuding the terrifying pressure of the peak of 7th-grade ferocious beasts, suddenly escaped from the void and wanted to kill the magic flame meteor. However, as soon as it killed it, it saw a simple and broken, white bone-long bow suddenly appear in the stream of demonic flames and pointed directly at it. Ancient dragon-slaying bow. No arrows were nocked, nor bows drawn. Just a little finger resting directly on the bowstring, as if it was a joke. Tear. The ferocious expression of the giant crocodile beast instantly turned to panic. The killing action came to a sudden stop in midair, and it fled back to the poisonous swamp in the forest behind it without hesitation. When the other malicious eyes saw the ancient and broken white bone-long bow, they subconsciously withdrew their gaze and chose to turn a blind eye to someone's wantonness. Swish. Seeing that no one who was short-sighted came out to stop him, Chen Beiyuan took the ancient dragon-slaying bow back into the system space and continued to move forward. Volcanic Canyon. Zhang Yunhua, who was under siege at the moment and was in a desperate situation, suddenly burst out with terrifying pressure, and his aura instantly increased tenfold. A nearly solid fire phoenix descended instantly, easily killing the lava giants that were coming from around it. Even the entire extinct volcano was directly hit by this terrifying blow, creating a huge crater, spewing hot lava crazily towards the sky, like a natural disaster. Gula, seeing this horrifying scene, Lin Xiao, who was hiding in the dark and preparing to go out to save the beauty as a hero, was almost scared to death. How is this possible? How could she be so powerful? With such strength, even Chen Beiyuan may not be able to defeat her. He murmured to himself, even he couldn't withstand Jiang Yunhua's terrifying blow to summon the Fire Phoenix. If he didn't do it well, he might be dead. This will undoubtedly make his original plan completely fail. What a girl! She can actually mobilize the Fire Phoenix blood in her body and summon the Phoenix to come. However, if she does this, her strength will also fall into a short-term slump. In the Xian Ring, that charming and majestic voice appeared again. Stuck in a brief slump, Lin Xiao, who was doubting his life, suddenly found that Jiang Yunhua's aura began to weaken crazily after the explosion, and his eyes suddenly showed a hint of joy and cruelty. This is undoubtedly a great opportunity. Since the hero can't figure out how to save the beauty, then let's do it. Chen Beiyuan, I can't take revenge on you, so I'll ask your woman to calculate the interest. At that time, as long as the murd *RS are silenced and the corpses are destroyed, no one will know that he did it. Just when Lin Zhao's evil thoughts began to spread crazily, the fairy master's charming and slightly anxious voice suddenly sounded in his mind. Shower, be careful. Someone is coming. No, he is coming for you. Run away. You are no match for that person. Chapter 167, Part 1. Fairy Master's slightly anxious voice was undoubtedly like a bucket of cold water poured directly on Lin Zhao's evil-fired head, causing the cruelty and ferocity on his face to freeze for an instant. Ever since he met the Fairy Master's elegant, noble, indifferent, and arrogant temperament had left a very deep impression on him. Even after he revealed the 9th grade technique, Extreme Profundity's Dragon Transformation Sutra, although he was a little surprised, he immediately became calm, as if he didn't care about the 9th grade technique. This undoubtedly made Lin Xiao feel that his Fairy Master was unfathomable. In Lin Zhao's mind, the Fairy Master's cultivation during his lifetime was at least that of an 8th grade War Emperor, or even a higher being. But this was the first time he heard such an anxious voice from his Fairy Master. This means that the terror of the visitor is far beyond his imagination, and may even kill him. Boom! A huge, booming air explosion suddenly struck from a distance. The violent and terrifying dark purple demonic flames almost dyed the entire sky red. A creeping feeling of fear instantly surged into my heart. Lin Zhao's eyes were horrified. Looking at the stream of magic flames approaching rapidly in the distance, he felt a chill surge into his heart from the soles of his feet, and his entire body was icy cold, because he suddenly saw the dark, deep and cold eyes in the stream of magic flames that dyed the world red. Chen Beiyuan, Xiao Air, run away quickly. This man's magic power is so weird that even the master can't see through his background. His origin is definitely unusual. Moreover, he has the residual aura of Emperor Weapon on him. In the Xian Ring, the slightly anxious voice of the Fairy Master sounded again. Emperor Weapon. 8th grade Emperor Weapon. Lin Zhao's pupils shrank, his face turned pale, and he ran away without hesitation. Volcanic Canyon. Jiang Yunhua, whose face was slightly pale, was panting heavily and dripping with sweat. The aura on his body fell into a sluggish state, and the Fire Phoenix bloodline that had been boiling in his body also fell silent. The terrifying blow that summoned the Phantom of the Phoenix just now consumed almost all her strength. However, the lava giant corpses everywhere in front of him was the best result. The entire lava giant clan was directly wiped out by the blow she just delivered that could be called a dimensionality-reducing blow. Even the leader of the lava giant, who was comparable to the peak of 7th grade ferocious beasts, could not withstand the terrifying blow just now. It would have been almost impossible to do this before. But after entering the Void's secret realm, in just a few days, her strength had undergone earth-shaking changes, and she was countless times stronger than before. It almost saved her decades of hard work. Jiang Yunhuan knew very well that this was all due to Beiyuan. If Beiyuan hadn't given her the opportunity map, she wouldn't have been able to advance so rapidly and reach this point so quickly. Taking the opportunity map every day, he digs for opportunities everywhere, eats spiritual objects, and collects magical soldiers. Under such circumstances, it is difficult not to become stronger. When he thought of that person, Jiang Yunhua felt that his empty body was instantly filled with something. His face became a little more rosy, and even the silent, fire phoenix bloodline in his body showed a trace of fiery restlessness, and his whole body felt like it was. The spirit pill is like a miracle drug. When you find Beiyuan, you must repay him well. Jiang Yunhua's face turned red with embarrassment, and he murmured to himself. At this moment, she seemed to have fallen into some kind of reverie, with no defense at all, in a weak state that could be taken advantage of. However, at this moment, in the palm of her right hand, she was holding a colorful phoenix feather without any fluctuation in power. This phoenix feather is her biggest trump card. That phoenix back then not only gave her the fire phoenix body, condensed with phoenix essence and blood, but also gave her phoenix feathers that contained the divine ability of her life. Anyone who dares to think wrongly may feel the legendary wrath of the phoenix in an instant. Jiang Yunhua is not a lucky heroine like Leng Ruobing. Suddenly, a roaring dragon suddenly aroused her vigilance. She turned around and saw a terrifying poisonous dragon with gray-green scales, rotten body surface, and green venom flowing out. Its eyes were ferocious, and it raised its head from behind the volcanic canyon. There was such a monster hiding behind the volcano canyon, and she didn't even notice it. Jiang Yunhua's pupils shrank, and he felt a vague sense of danger in this terrifying poisonous dragon. Just when Jiang Yunhua thought that the terrifying poisonous dragon was about to attack her, he saw that the terrifying poisonous dragon didn't even look at her and ran away into the distance without hesitation. It was as if there was something terrifying approaching from behind. What's the situation? A trace of astonishment flashed across Jiang Yunhua's face, and he was also confused by this sudden situation. Suddenly, a stream of dark purple demon flame swept across all directions and quickly flashed towards the terrifying poisonous dragon. Beiyuan? Jiang Yunhua's expression changed, and he instantly recognized the familiar figure in the dark purple demon flame. Want to run? Is it too late? Seeing that Lin Xiao chose to run away without hesitation, he had no intention of fighting back. Chen Beiyuan's expression was calm, as if he had guessed it a long time ago. He slowly swung out his right palm, and suddenly a mountain-like demonic flame dragon capturing hand condensed in the sky, and he captured the treacherous poisonous dragon that was running wildly in front of him. Go! Roar! Even if Lin Xiao reacts quickly, the gap between strength and realm cannot be easily bridged. No matter how fast his treacherous poison dragon fighting spirit is, in Chen Beiyuan's eyes it is still far behind. In an instant, the crazily scurrying poison dragon seemed to be a prey in an urn, being trapped bit by the huge mountain-like demonic flame dragon capturing hand. Chen Beiyuan's eyes changed slightly, and he instantly noticed that there seemed to be some special power emerging from the spiritual poison dragon that was trapped a little bit. That is the power that belongs to Son of Fortune. Seek good fortune and avoid misfortune, and survive the catastrophe. If it were him before, he might not be able to find it. But ever since he got Heaven's Child fortune-gazing technique, he could vaguely see something special. Bang! A pair of evil bat wings covering the world suddenly appeared behind him. A huge blood bat with a pale human face actually attacked him, with a sickly smile on its face. Those green eyes were like staring at his beloved prey. The person who came was the 7th on the Void ranking, Blood Bat Aga from the Sunfall Empire. 6th grade Battle King, middle level cultivation. Top fighting spirit, Bloodwing Ghost Bat. At this moment, the Blood Bat Yaga suddenly appeared and stared at Chen Beiyuan in front of him with a fierce look on his face. He did not realize that he had been interfered by Lin Zhao's protagonist luck, and he let out an excited howl. Chen Beiyuan, who is 2nd on the Void ranking, your blood must taste delicious. Chapter 168, Part 1. Blood Bat Yaga, the heir to the Klein family of the Sunfall Empire. The Klein family is also one of the top families in the Sunfall Empire. However, the rumors about this family are not very good. They have always been rich in blood-sucking lunatics. If it hadn't been confirmed within the human alliance that the Klein family had a certain amount of human blood, many people would have regarded them as a different blood race. After all, the Klein family's habit of sucking blood is too similar to that of the vampires. Of course, the vampires do not recognize the Klein family as noble vampires. According to outside rumors, the reason why people in the Klein family have the blood-sucking habit is because the ancestors of the Klein family once captured a powerful vampire monster, extracted its blood, and injected it into the body in order to obtain more powerful monsters. Strength and longevity. Although the ancestor of the Klein family ultimately failed, his descendants were still contaminated by some of the blood and bad habits of the Blood Clan. This kind of thing may seem absurd, but it is nothing. This kind of thing human race has corresponding research within each country. Among them, it is extremely common in overseas countries. Members of those top families have more or less the blood of foreign races in their bodies. While the people within the human race hate the alien race, they're also very coveted for the alien race's power and lifespan. Blood Bat Yaga can be ranked 7th in the Void ranking, and its own strength is also among the first-order existence in the Void secret realm. However, his reputation is not very good. Gain, after entering the secret realm of the Void, whether he encounters a ferocious alien beast or a human race, he will drink all his blood. Such cruel and bloodthirsty behavior is more alien than alien. Now, this blood-sucking monster has directly targeted Chen Beiyuan due to the intervention of Lin Xiao, the son of fortune. Such a huge movement naturally attracted the attention of many people. The 7th in the Void list challenges the 2nd in the Void list. This is probably unprecedented big news. This is the first time that the young powerhouses in the top 10 of the Void ranking compete against each other. Jie, Chen Beiyuan, I will accept your blood in your Void order. Anu, kill him. Chen Beiyuan looked calm and spoke without looking back. As soon as he finished speaking, the little ball of flesh riding on his neck jumped out like a spring. The blood bat Yaga felt his eyes blurred as a chubby pink fist broke through the Void and suddenly appeared in front of him, getting closer and closer. Bang! Bloodbat Aya's giant bat head with a pale human face was half blown off in an instant. The sick smile on his face instantly froze, and his only remaining eye stared blankly at Anu in front of him. Boom! A pair of strange dual pupils came into view instantly, and an overbearing and terrifying dragon power struck directly into his soul, instantly defeating his spirit. He forcibly destroyed the spiritual imprint left in his mind by the powerful 8th-grade war emperor of the Clerk family. In an instant, the bloodbat Yaga felt that his soul was forcibly torn apart and turned into countless fragments, and he suddenly let out a shrill scream. The face of the little silly dragon, Anu, no longer looked as silly as before, and the cute little chubby face instantly turned cold. Anu is angry. Tear. Those huge flesh and BLO*D bat wings were torn off alive. Then came the chest limb's head. At this moment, in the terrifying eyes of countless prodigy of all races, Chen Beiyuan, the chubby cute loli with 2 buns in her hair, just glanced at the bloodbat Yaga. The bloodbat Yaga was like a stationary toy, letting it play with it, disassembling the parts on his body bit by bit. Soon, Yaga's head was torn off by her and kicked like a ball. This scene can be called extremely terrifying. Number 7 on the Void list, his death was so frustrating and weird. Who is this little girl? After being interrupted by the bloodbat Yaga, Lin Xiao, who transformed into the treacherous poisonous dragon, avoided the capture of the demonic flame dragon, capturing hand like a dragon rising into the abyss. Just as he was about to run wildly into the distance, he heard Chen Beiyuan's voice. Certainly, the terrible poisonous dragon, transformed by Lin Xiao, was instantly fixed in midair by the immobilizing curse, unable to move. Behind him, a mountain-sized demonic flame dragon, capturing hand, grasped its tail like a loach. The hot and terrifying demonic flames instantly scorched the skin and flesh of the creepy poisonous dragon black, giving off a rich, hot green color. Poison gas. Ah, 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 ah. A humanoid howl of pain emerges from the mouth of the dark poisonous dragon, foreshadowing the pain it endures. Seeing Chen Beiyuan approaching quickly, as if he would appear in front of him in the next moment, a trace of despair seemed to flash in Lin Zhao's heart. He didn't know why Chen Beiyuan suddenly appeared, looking like he was going to kill him. Could it be that he was discovered just now because he wanted to attack Jiang Yanhua? Or is it because of other reasons? No matter what it is, even if he is immobilized at this moment, he has other trump cards, but as long as he can't use them, it won't help. At this moment, Lin Xiao truly felt the terror of Chen Beiyuan and the monstrous demonic flames. Just one move of the holding curse put him in an unprecedented danger. Now, as long as he takes a breath, Chen Beiyuan will appear in front of him. By then, his fate can be imagined. But at this moment, the mysterious ring on the right claw of the treacherous poison dragon, transformed by Lin Xiao, suddenly shone brightly, bursting out with a dazzling light. A white-clothed fairy with a proud figure, fluttering immortal chi, and wearing a snow-white gauze scarf to cover her face suddenly appeared. With a light tap of her jade-like fingers, the calming spell was instantly broken. Shower, let's go. Master, a pair of charming eyes behind the snow-white gauze looked at Chen Beiyuan deeply. As if to remember it deeply, a pair of jade arms directly hugged Lin Xiao, who had returned to human form and fled towards the distance. His escape skills were more than 10 times faster than Lin Zhao's just now. In an instant, it turned into a black dot. Seeing son of fortune Lin Zhao's fairy master hidden in the mysterious ring being forced out, Chen Beiyuan was not surprised at all. Instead, he frowned. He looked at the charming and majestic fairy with proud figure and fluttering immortal chi, and he felt even more weird. I finally forced you out. Let me see who you really are. His eyes suddenly glowed with a strange light, and he directly operated Heaven's Child Fortune gazing technique. Looking at the top of the head of the beautiful fairy, as if to explore its true origin and essence. But the next moment, his pupils shrank, and a look of shock appeared on Gujing Wubu's face, as if he was frightened by what he saw. There was a hint of disbelief in his eyes, and he murmured to himself, "Where is this? What a beautiful fairy. This horse is Bo Gang, the demon of the mountain." Chapter 169, Part 1. At this moment, in Chen Beiyuan's eyes, the true appearance of the fairy in white with her proud figure, fluttering immortal chi, and face covered by a snow-white veil is actually a snow-white mess with short limbs, a fat head, mung bean eyes, thick lips, and a long, moist tongue. With dense spots, a slight beard on his chin, and thick, long braids on the back of his head, with a huge mountain of flesh hanging down from his waist. This image is very similar to the mountain demon Bo Gang, among the 7 demons in The Adventures of Jackie Chan. The only difference may be that Lin Xiao, the fairy master, is whiter, bigger, and plumper than Bo Gang. This horse riding is a bit scary. It's even scarier than a certain cattleman running around in human clothes in the middle of the night. At this moment, in Chen Beiyuan's eyes, Lin Xiao was almost hugged by a huge mountain of meat, sinking deeply into the snow-white flesh. The whole person looked like a toy. Lin Xiao, however, turned a blind eye and looked at the huge mountain of meat in front of him with a lovely expression, very much like the disciple who rebelled against his master in some novels. An evil spirit who is good at camouflaging illusions, deceiving people, and is in a weak state? Evil god? No wonder this thing was sealed in that desert taboo. Lin Xiao, the son of fortune, has hit the jackpot. He can meet such a supreme grade beauty, and he has the urge to compete. He is worthy of being the protagonist of a miracle doctor. Chen Beiyuan's eyes flashed, and his face was slightly twitching and nauseated. This result was obviously beyond his expectation. If he hadn't possessed the luck divine ability, Heaven's Child fortune gazing technique, which can break the true nature of luck and face the essence, it would be difficult to see through the true face of this beautiful fairy. The fairy master or son of fortune is actually such a thing. The contrast is really too big and too scary. Who would have thought that under the appearance of a beautiful fairy, there is actually a devil Bo Gang, who would be killed if he looked at it? He just glanced at it and it hurt his eyes. It seems that Lin Xiao has been targeted by this thing. According to the normal plot, this evil thing should be parasitic on Lin Xiao, helping him grow little by little and finally seizes or devours him. Eat it dry and wipe it clean. However, considering that Lin Xiao is the son of fortune in this world, the protagonist of a miracle doctor with the characteristic of seeking good luck, avoiding bad luck, and turning bad luck into good fortune, he will definitely turn danger into safety in the end, and may even kill this fairy master income into the harem. Wait a minute, they really have a romantic relationship. Chen Beiyuan's eyes changed, and he actually saw that the beautiful fairy who looked like Devil Bo Gang had some luck. This is really a bit outrageous. Normally, the evil creature's true cultivation level is probably much higher than Chen Beiyuan's, and may even be as high as 8th grade. Chen Beiyuan, who uses Heaven's Child fortune gazing technique, will definitely suffer a lot of backlash. However, perhaps because this evil thing is in a weak state and its body is still sealed in the Xian ring, the backlash is not very powerful. Chen Beiyuan can resist easily. At this moment, after having found out some details about this beautiful fairy, Chen Beiyuan had no idea of continuing the pursuit. A skinny camel is bigger than a horse. Even if such an evil thing is sealed, it still has many trump cards hidden in it. There is no need to be stupid and head-on. You can play slowly. In contrast, he was more curious about Lin Xiao's luck and fate. He hasn't used Heaven's Child fortune gazing technique to see how this son of fortune's destiny is. As the son of fortune in this world, his luck and destiny should be number one. Even the top experts cannot compare. A trace of curiosity flashed across Chen Beiyuan's face, and his eyes turned to the head of Lin Xiao, the son of fortune. A dark divine light suddenly appeared in his eyes, as if he wanted to pry into his true side. At this moment, he has prepared the consequences of being backlashed and the corresponding measures. However, the next moment, his face suddenly became stiff, his pupils shrank, and his eyes were full of shock, as if he had seen something even more unbelievable than the true face of the beautiful fairy. Normally, as the son of fortune, Lin Xiao should have a dazzling sun above his head, shining brightly across the sky and the earth, and cannot be looked at. However, at this moment, under the gaze of Chen Beiyuan's Heaven's Child fortune gazing technique, the luck above Lin Xiao's head turned out to be a dilapidated and withered pavilion standing tall in midair, sealed by chains carved with mysterious runes and emitting dazzling light. In the dilapidated pavilion, suspended in midair, a small, shriveled body could be vaguely seen trapped by chains. Even though the rune chain emits a dazzling light, it can't cover up the decay inside the dilapidated pavilion. What the rune chain can do is to tightly suppress the decaying energy in the dilapidated pavilion, preventing it from spreading out. Chen Beiyuan paused and stopped chasing. He watched with a silent expression as the black spots in front of him completely disappeared. His dark and deep eyes seemed to be filled with turbulent waves. It's actually a castle in the air. Chen Beiyuan felt as if he had touched upon a terrifying secret that had never appeared in the original work, and glimpsed some of the truth hidden under the terrifying undercurrent. Lin Xiao, the son of fortune, the miracle doctor protagonist, has a problem, a big problem. The plane of beasts. Accompanied by a flash of light, two figures suddenly appeared on the plane. However, the figure of the beautiful fairy has become illusory at this moment, like the moon in the mirror of water, which will be completely broken with a light touch. Lin Xiao's face changed slightly, and he looked at the fairy master in front of him with red eyes. He leaned on her body, hugging her tightly, with an anxious and concerned look on his face. "Master, how are you?" "Xiao, in order to save you, Master has spent the last bit of his strength and is about to fall into a deep sleep. You have to do the next step yourself. These places of opportunity will be of great benefit to you. You must obtain." The beautiful fairy shook her head slightly and looked at Lin Xiao, who looked worried and anxious in her arms, not fake, and seemed to be touched a little. She stroked his forehead and spoke softly. Her jade finger pointed at Lin Xiao's eyebrows and sent some information about the secret realm of the void. Immediately, the stunning face behind the snow-white veil instantly became dignified, and her expression became serious. "Be careful of Chen Beiyuan. This person is not simple. He hides too many secrets. Before your Extreme Profundities Dragon Transformation Sutra has great accomplishment, try to avoid his sharp edges and don't face him directly. In every world, a son of fortune will be born at a certain point in time, and he will be protected by destiny. I suspect that Chen Beiyuan is the son of fortune." Chapter 170, Part 1. The Nine Profound Immortal Girl has a solemn face, and her stunning and melting face behind the snow-white veil is a bit uncertain. At first she was just a little skeptical, but when she felt an inexplicable threat from Chen Beiyuan, she became more and more convinced. Chen Beiyuan is not a simple person. As an outsider, she is easily targeted by this world. And Chen Beiyuan's appearance was such a coincidence, and his strength was so unfathomable that even she couldn't see through it. She even suspected that Chen Beiyuan just didn't use his methods just now, but he just didn't catch up because of some ideas. With her body sealed in the Xian ring and only a trace of her soul left, she may not be able to deal with a being suspected of being son of fortune. Although this person is only a 6th grade war king, Chen Beiyuan is son of fortune. Lin Xiao's pupils shrank, his expression suddenly changed, and he seemed a little unbelievable, and he froze on the spot. Having received the inheritance from a certain ancient power, he naturally understood what son of fortune was. It is an existence that is born with destiny and luck, rises in accordance with destiny, and is destined to lead the direction of the times, dominate the world, and be famous forever. Since the rise of human race, there have been many heroic epics and legendary figures who have created countless miracles. They are all sons of fortune with their own destiny. According to ancient inheritance, the rise of every son of fortune will stir up the world. Countless confidants will gather around him to compose his own mythical legend. If you think about it carefully, Chen Beiyuan was born into a top family in the Donghua Empire. He was born with visions and talents. He was hailed by the master of Heavenly Secrets Pavilion as a born great emperor, and he is very likely to reach the top of the 9th grade God of War. Since growing up, Chen Beiyuan has never lacked confidants around him. Countless top beauties are surrounding him, including the stunning school beauty, the royal sister of the Bai family, the emperor's daughter of the Jiang family. Being on good terms with Chen Beiyuan, almost everyone has received great benefits, and their strength has become stronger step by step. Those who oppose Chen Beiyuan almost never end well. Death is considered a good thing, but the most miserable thing is that life is worse than death. Nowadays, most of Chen Beiyuan's enemies gather in the frontline prison camp to sing songs every night. They have no worries about food and drink and can experience the feeling of being a bride every day. When these deeds were added up, even Lin Xiao was a little surprised and confused, because Chen Beiyuan does meet all the requirements of son of fortune. But didn't the ancient great master who left the legacy say that I am the son of fortune in this world? Only son of fortune can inherit the mantle he left behind and inherit the wordless medical scripture and the Extreme Profundities Dragon Transformation Scripture. If Chen Beiyuan is son of fortune, then who am I? At this moment, the fairy master did not realize that his few words directly made Lin Xiao almost doubt his life. His mood was almost shattered. The castle in the sky, luck destiny above Lin Xiao's head, which was bound by countless runic chains, began to falter. The shriveled and thin corpse in the pavilion also had a slightly depressed expression on its face. At this moment, the rune chains that bound the pavilion and the thin body suddenly shined brightly, blooming with strands of bright golden light, and began to exert a silent influence. Shower, break through the 6th grade War King as soon as possible. You are still too weak now. If you want to get more opportunities in the Void Secret Realm here, you are still a little behind. I only have a little soul power left. I will give it to you. Just when Lin Xiao was confused, the faint murmur of 9 profound immortals came into his ears. But for some reason, the charming and majestic voice seemed to be a little rough. Swish, a touch of dark soul power instantly injected into Lin Xiao's mind, nourishing his strange abyss poison dragon, fighting spirit, instantly making his mental power surge, almost reaching a qualitative change master. When Lin Xiao came back to his senses, the white-clothed fairy in front of him had already disappeared. The Xian ring on his hand also became dim. He blankly felt the abundant mental power in his mind that was almost condensed into substance, and looked at the dim Xian ring on his hand again, and there seemed to be a silent warmth in his heart. The slight frustration just now disappeared instantly, and a smile appeared on his face involuntarily, like the fairy master, who was unreserved and sincere to him. He actually suspected that she had ulterior motives before. This time, if it weren't for the fairy master's help, he would have been doomed. He deserved to die. Master, shower will definitely revive you. Lin Xiao clenched his fists, his face firm, and muttered to himself. Xian ring space. I hope this investment can be rewarded as soon as possible. A snow-white meat mountain with strange spots all over its body, lush hair, and a mouthful of crooked and rotten teeth struggled to open a pair of green bean eyes hidden in the fat, listening to the lofty ambitions of the young man outside the Xian ring, and a strange smile appeared on his face, which seemed to be a little moved, but also had some other meanings. At this moment, she was completely unaware that she was being interfered with by some kind of luck. There is something wrong with this son of fortune, Lin Xiao. His luck was extremely bad, even very lowly. He belongs to the lone star of the heavenly fiend, and he is unlucky to his father, mother, blood relatives, and even himself. According to common sense, he should not live past the age of 20. But now he has lived past the age of 20 and has become the son of fortune, enjoying the protection of destiny and luck, which is invaluable. It's a good trick, turning the virtual into the real and the fake into the real. Who built him a castle in the air, allowing a mountain boy to ascend to heaven in one step and enjoy destiny. Chen Beiyuan's eyes were dim, as if he had seen through the constraints of space, and through the traction of the devil's thoughts, he saw the figure of Lin Xiao far away in the 10,000 beast plain. However, at this moment behind Lin Xiao, there was an unclear fog. Who would have thought that Lin Xiao, the son of fortune in the original book, was actually fake? Behind him, there is actually a mastermind whose face is not clear. This undoubtedly completely overturned the original plot he had read. Sometimes, what you see with your own eyes is not necessarily the truth. It's a pity that in my previous life, the Urban Medical God's carefree record was still in serialization. At that time, I only saw my destined villain die in Lin Xiao's hands. I came to this world before I saw the subsequent plot. Then, the question is, if Lin Xiao is not the son of fortune at all, then who is the real son of fortune? Chapter 171, Part 1. Who is the real son of destiny? Chen Beiyuan looked with dark eyes at the luck destiny above his head that was shrouded in the aura of chaos. He remained silent, as if he had already made a guess and decision. The water in this world is deeper than I thought. Things like son of fortune can be artificially fabricated. The real son of fortune has been suppressed by destiny. The ability of the person behind the scenes is really beyond expectations. However, the people behind the scenes obviously have a lot of restrictions. Otherwise, they would not have used castle in the air methods to build a false son of fortune fate for Lin Xiao. Wouldn't it be faster to plunder directly? If I guess correctly, in the original work, after Lin Xiao killed me, the destined villain with the blessing of various destiny, I am afraid that he will not survive for a few days, and the person behind the scenes will show up. All he needs to do is a single blow can break the lucky fate arrangement of castle in the sky, causing Lin Xiao to die in an instant and reap the final fruits. As for who is behind the scenes, Chen Beiyuan already had a rough idea in his mind. When Lin Xiao was young, he entered the inheritance place of an ancient power and obtained the Wordless Medical Sutra and the Extreme Profundities Dragon Transformation Sutra. In the end, he relied on the 2 Goldfinger techniques to rise. Now it seems that there is something very wrong with that ancient power, and he may even be the mastermind behind the scenes. To be hailed as an ancient power, and to be able to easily produce a medical classic in a 9th grade technique, this person's true cultivation level must be above 8th grade. I thought my cultivation speed was already very fast, but now it seems that it is still too slow. Gotta speed up a little. Chen Beiyuan's eyes were deep, and he stared straight into the distance. Even though he knew the hidden darkness and secrets, he still didn't feel depressed or decadent at all. Instead, he felt that the demon blood in his body began to boil a little bit. Fighting with the sky, fighting with the earth, fighting with people, the fun is endless. A real devil has such an unruly character. I thought that Lin Xiao was not enough for him, but now with a mastermind hiding behind the scenes, it was just right. It just depends on who has the best method in the end. Just when Chen Beiyuan was filled with emotion, a small figure swayed not far behind him. Hey, Yuan. The little silly dragon Anu held a bloodbat head in one hand and a void token in the other, and walked slowly behind Chen Beiyuan. I saw her holding bloodbat Yaga's void token in her hand and poking Chen Beiyuan, raising her little head with an expression on her face that she was happy to praise me. Chen Beiyuan lowered his head and looked at the proud little silly dragon Anu in front of him. His eyes paused on her hands, stretched out his hand to rub her little head, and pinched the two balls with a smile on his face. Somewhat mild. Don't play with those disgusting things. There is no shortage of such things for dogs at home. A mere bloodbat Yaka, 7th on the void ranking, Chen Beiyuan obviously didn't take him seriously. Regardless of whether he took action on himself because of Luck's intervention, once he took action, his life was no longer his. In his eyes, this kind of thing is just qualified to twist off its head and feed it to dogs. The little silly dragon Anu nodded with a look of enjoyment, then threw the bloodbat head behind his hand and hit it on the boulder. It exploded instantly and turned into a ball of blood, mud, flesh, and bones. Okay, give me the void order. Just when Chen Beiyuan stretched out his hand to take the void command from the bloodbat Yaga, Anu, who looked obedient, dodged and quickly caught Chen Beiyuan like a nimble creature. Beiyuan's thighs rotated and instantly climbed to the top of his head. Like the monkey king who had reached the top, he let out an excited howl. Nai, 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 nai. Anu, want a drink? Nai, nai. As he grows up, the once silly dragon begins to show his wise side. He even learned to negotiate. In the end, after intense discussions with Chen Beiyuan, he finally purchased the Void Order of Bloodbat Aga with 2.5 bottles of animal milk. With the fusion of the two Void tokens, the number of Chen Beiyuan's Void tokens directly changed from 197 to an astonishing 305. Volcanic Canyon. As Jiang Yunhua's terrifying blow fell, the now extinct volcano was completely detonated. Countless lava splashed, the temperature rose sharply, and the air was filled with the smell of sulfur and other toxic gases, making it look like a natural disaster was coming. However, Jiang Yunhua stood there stupidly, paying no attention to everything around him, and the scene where Chen Beiyuan chased the terrifying poisonous dragon just now kept popping up in his mind. On his shoulder, there seemed to be a cute little girl riding on his shoulder, screaming. The scene full of warmth between father and daughter left a very deep impression on her. No. How old is Beiyuan? How can such a big child come from? Jiang Yunhua froze on the spot. His face seemed a little lost. I have to say that sometimes the IQ of a woman in love is really negative. Maybe she will react later, but let's forget it for now. A shattered, ruined temple. If the fighting energy in her body hadn't been exhausted at this moment, and she was in a weak state, plus Chen Beiyuan and the two chased them somewhere, she would have killed her long ago. A broken stone tablet in the ruined temple here instantly caught by Ruowei's attention. Which bitch is this? She possesses Bei's talent and can understand all things. Even if she does not understand the content of these words, the words on the stone tablet will tell her through some channel. The great lord of the temple created this world and took in us abandoned people. The evil enemy has invaded. For the sake of our homeland, we must fight to the death. Bai Ruowei closed her eyes, listened carefully to the sound of the words on the stone tablet, and murmured to herself. She hasn't even sat down yet. The lord of the temple fell, leaving the void temple, waiting for the successor. There are a lot of strange words engraved on the stone tablets, which are obviously words used by some kind of alien ethnic group. It is natural to imagine how difficult it is to decipher them. Bai Ruowei hugged the snow-white fox, followed by the 4 big licking dogs. Boiling bear, little black tiger, two-headed turtle, and blue leopard cat. When they were looking for opportunities, they came here unexpectedly. I have to say that this is almost a bug-like battle spirit talent. However, this is not a problem for Bai Ruowei. Chapter 172, Part 1. The Temple of the Void is actually selecting a new heir? No wonder the Void Temple always appears suddenly and invites myriad races to participate in the Void secret realm. Then, it suddenly and mysteriously disappears. However, the rumors from the outside world are actually true. The Void Temple is really a 9th grade magic weapon. Bai Ruowei slowly opened her eyes. A hint of surprise flashed through her charming eyes, and murmured to herself. Although the words left on the stone tablet were intermittent and incomplete, they still let her know some of the secrets of the Void Temple. Among them, the Temple of the Void is a 9th grade divine weapon. The owner of the temple likes to take in homeless and abandoned orphans of all races. The Void Temple was unexpectedly invaded and suffered a devastating blow. The master of the temple and his followers fell. The Temple of the Void is looking for a new heir. These are things that outsiders have never known. I'm afraid even the person who left this abandoned temple stone tablet could never have imagined that there would be an outsider human race who would awaken the fighting spirit of auspicious beast by Zhe and actually decipher the content on it. What surprised by Ruowei even more was that there was a special star body tempering picture left on this stone tablet. You can use the power of the stars to hammer the flesh-refining body, giving it various powers. When practiced to the extreme, it can condense the immortal body of stars, transforming into the vast stars traveling around the world. And this star body tempering picture was passed down by the owner of the Void Temple, and its grade is as high as 8th grade. Such a terrifying body refining technique is regarded as top secret even by the top forces, and is regarded as a treasure. It is probably difficult for non-core executives to have access to it. But who would have thought that such a precious 8th grade technique would be hidden in such a dilapidated, ruined stone tablet? If she hadn't possessed the Baizhe fighting spirit, it would have been difficult to decipher the secrets and obtain this great opportunity. Bai Ruowei's complicated eyes slowly stopped at a strange golden text in the corner of star body tempering picture. She touched it gently with her white jade fingertips and murmured to herself, Su Ming, this was the former name of the owner of this Void Temple. However, she is dead. Just when Bai Ruowei was immersed in this star body tempering picture, she began to understand the mystery of it. Suddenly, she frowned slightly, as if she noticed something, and slowly turned around to look at the figure in a green shirt who suddenly appeared behind her. The snow-white fox in his arms also raised his head after seeing the person coming. His hair was all over his body, and his eyes became fierce. The 4 licking dogs behind him changed from their previous licking dog appearance and instantly became ferocious and bloodthirsty, staring at the intruder who suddenly appeared in front of them. The intruder was dressed in a green shirt, with 3,000 blue hairs hanging down. His face was charming, and his eyes seemed to have thousands of charms, which were alluring. Even the loose clothes cannot conceal his proud mind. A strange, charming affinity emanated from her body. In the face of this charming affinity, even the ferocious and violent eyes of the 4 licking dog beasts gradually became clearer and softer. Even the hair that exploded on the snow-white fox's body gradually softened. This is a special affinity that is very similar to Bai Ruowei but completely different. Dusan Susu. Bai Ruowei raised her brows slightly, with a somewhat inquiring look in her eyes. She looked at the figure in green clothes who suddenly appeared in front of her and spoke slowly. Obviously, she also recognized the true identity of the person coming. Saintus, the contemporary fox clan of the Qingxiu fox clan. His cultivation has reached the peak of rank 6 ferocious beasts. In this void secret realm, Tushan Su is recognized as one of the strongest. His popularity is so terrifying that it even surpasses Ao Lai from Wanlong Island. Some people believe that among the ferocious beasts that entered the void secret realm this time, Tushan Su may be the strongest being. The reason why she is only ranked 4th on the void list is because she has a calm mind and does not take action easily. Even when she is in a good mood, she will take the initiative to let go of the prodigy of various races who appear in front of her. Even Bai Ruowei has received a lot of benefits and opportunities from the Void Secret Realm in the past few days, and her strength has soared. When she saw Tushan Su in front of her, she felt an unspeakable sense of oppression and threat. Bai Ruowei had met Ao Lai from Wanlong Island, but the threat Ao Lai posed to her was far less serious than the Tushan Su in front of her. But why did the other party suddenly appear here? Suddenly, Bai Ruowei was surprised to find that Tushan Su had been looking at the broken stone tablet behind her, etc. Could it be that the other party was attracted by the stone tablet? The scene fell into a silent confrontation for an instant. After a long time, Tushan Su slowly looked away from the stone tablet, looked at the wary Bai Ruowei in front of him with complicated eyes, and spoke slowly, with an empty tone and without any emotion. Are you Chen Beiyuan's fiancé? Go back and tell Chen Beiyuan that I, Tushan Su, will have to settle the debts owed by the Chen family to him sooner or later, and ask him to wait for me. After saying that, Tushan Su walked away gracefully, ignoring Bai Ruowei, who looked strange behind him. It seems that she came just to take a look at the broken stone tablet, and let Bai Ruowei give a message. What's going on? Could it be that Beiyuan offended the Qingxiu Fox clan? That's wrong. Beiyuan is still young, and I haven't heard of her going to the Qingxiu Fox clan. Could it be that a certain Qin family member brought Qingxiu to the Fox clan? The Fox clan has been offended, but what should she do to Beiyuan if someone else does something wrong? Bai Ruowei frowned, obviously confused by Tushan Su's words. Every injustice has its owner, and every debt has its owner. If you don't go to the creditor, why would you go to her Beiyuan? Her Beiyuan is so good, so cute, so obedient. Isn't this bullying an honest person? Bai Ruowei stood there, thinking hard for a long time, but still couldn't figure out the reason. Forget it. Let's wait until we meet Beiyuan and ask him. Seeing that her thinking was fruitless, Bai Ruowei prepared to leave and continued to look for other opportunities. Of course, when she left, she did not choose to smash the broken stone tablet that recorded the star body tempering diagram. Since this place is the opportunity of the secret realm of the void, if someone can find this place, understand the words in it, and see this star body tempering picture, it is naturally destined, so why should she be that evil person? Since he can awaken the fighting spirit of an auspicious beast like Bai Zhe, Bai Ruowei will naturally not be a narrow-minded person. Just after the two left, an illusory figure filled with strange divine light, and whose face could not be seen, suddenly appeared in the ruins of the dilapidated temple. She glanced at the direction Bai Ruowei left, nodded slowly, and then looked at the direction Tushan Su left. Her eyes seemed to be a little confused. At the same time, a major piece of news quickly spread throughout the secret realm, causing an uproar in an instant. The Bloodbat Yaga, who was 7th on the void list, actually died. What's even more exciting is that the person who killed him was actually Chen Beiyuan, who ranked 2nd on the void ranking. A little girl drinking milk next to him. According to eyewitnesses, when the little girl unscrewed Yaga's head, she still had a milk bottle in her mouth. Chapter 173, Part 1. Public Prodigy? Number 7 on the void ranking, the heir to the Klein family, Bloodbat Aga, actually died at the hands of a little girl who drank milk. Ah! Are you sure you're not making an international joke? A strong man from the human race who was strong enough to rank in the first rank of prodigy among all races in the void secret realm had a little girl with a milk bottle in her mouth twist her head and kill her directly? This news is indeed a bit far-fetched. The level of outrageousness is comparable to that of a primary school football team that defeated countless powerful opponents with absolute superiority, entered the World Cup, and won the championship. However, if you say that Chen Beiyuan, who is 2nd on the void ranking, ripped off the head of the Bloodbat Aya, who is 7th on the void ranking, everyone will not be able to accept it. But if you say it's a little girl, impossible. Absolutely impossible. I don't believe it. Although that bastard Bloodbat Yaga has a bad personality, his strength is real, and he also has many life-saving means. Even the top 5 monsters on the void ranking have to be defeated if they want to kill him. With a lot of effort, there is even a possibility of escape. Rumors, this must be a rumor. Even if the Bloodbat Yaga is really dead, he should die in the hands of Chen Beiyuan, not in the hands of a baby drinking milk. Otherwise, 90% of all races in the entire void secret realm will die. I'm afraid Prodigy can't beat a baby drinking milk. Although it is a bit outrageous, it is indeed true. The ghost demon who was number 18 on the void list happened to be at the scene and witnessed it with his own eyes. Zhishuan Haofu, who was number 25 on the void list, was also present at the time. It is said that people were so frightened that they peed. With the appearance of witnesses one after another, they came forward to confirm. All doubts disappeared instantly. Prodigy from all races in the entire void secret realm fell into deathly silence. But at this time, some gossip began to spread quietly. It's really scary that an 8-year-old human race girl has such terrifying powers. Who said she is from human race? I heard that the little girl is the product of the combination of Chen Beiyuan and a powerful beast in disguise. She is so powerful at such a young age because of the talents of both of them. I saw with my own eyes that the little girl was riding on Chen Beiyuan's head. The two were as close as father and daughter. But Chen Beiyuan is only 18. How can he have an 8-year-old child? What do you know? I heard that Chen Beiyuan has been very talented since he was a child. He can be picked at the age of 7. Zendufigdu? When it comes to eating melons, even prodigies of all ethnic groups are unavoidable, especially when there are still people secretly fueling the situation. This kind of thing quickly spread throughout the void secret realm. Black Beast Mountain. The little girl drinking milk next to Beiyuan is his biological flesh, and BLO*D. When Bai Ruowei, who was practicing star body tempering picture, heard this rumor, she felt like she was struck by lightning and almost went crazy on the spot. According to the age of the little girl, who was 8 years old, wouldn't it mean that Xiao Beiyuan was taken over by someone when she was 10 years old? What a damn bitch. 6 years ago, she didn't even have the heart to take action, yet someone actually took action before her. Did you even cure the child? Just when Bai Ruowei almost turned black. Deep in the soul, a snow-white, noble and peaceful beast with the head of a tiger and the body of a dragon, and long horns slowly opened its eyes. A touch of gentle and peaceful power instantly calmed her anger, restored her rationality, and she instantly realized something was wrong. Bai Zhe warns, the rumors are false. Someone is behind the scenes and wants to drive a wedge between me and Beiyuan. Bai Ruowei's face changed slightly, and she immediately wanted to use Bai Zhe's divine ability to deduce the identity of the person behind the scenes, but was blocked by a force from somewhere. volcanic canyon, Jiang Yunhua, who was bathing in the depths of the lava and was absorbing the lava core. To break through, trembled with his closed eyes, as if he had heard the rumors of the discussion of the prodigy of the human race passing by above the volcano, and his stunning face showed a look of emotion emerged. At this moment, the five-color feather in her arms emitted a five-color divine light, which instantly soothed her messy thoughts. Interesting, there are people who are secretly adding fuel to the fire and trying to stir up trouble. The Chen family has strict laws. As the young master of the Chen family, Chen Beiyuan will never release his yang essence at a young age. It will definitely have an impact on his path. However, although the rumors are false, it is probably true that the void token of Bloodbat Yaga fell into the hands of Chen Beiyuan. Now the number of his void tokens may have exceeded 300, which is a bit troublesome. Jiang Yunfan frowned slightly, his eyes flashed slightly. He expressionlessly crushed the head of a powerful alien in his hand and murmured to himself. With the Bloodbat Yaka's void token, Chen Beiyuan's number of void tokens may have surpassed Jiang Yunfan's, almost locking the number 1 spot on the void ranking. If we can win his void order, then I will be number 1 on the void ranking. A flash of excitement and heat flashed across A.O. Lai's proud face. This news was undoubtedly an unexpected surprise for him. Child, when Tushan Su Su, who was dressed in a green shirt and had 3,000 blue hair and an indifferent nature, heard this rumor, he instantly guessed that it must be false. I have grown up a lot, and I have begun to know how to use the power of rumors to drive a wedge between me and Ruowei, Yinhua, and them, in order to weaken my power. However, you still underestimate my relationship with them. Stumble. Moreover, when the time comes, he will be able to usher in a breakthrough in strength. But even so, at the moment he knew it, his fist couldn't help but harden. It's a pity that he underestimated their love for him. Bai Ruowei even offered to wait for the child to be born, take her last name, and let her take care of it. She would treat it as her own flesh and BLO*D. The 2 sacred trees hidden in the 10,000 beast forest were about to bear fruit, and he was ready to harvest them. I'm not feeling well today, and I feel a little hazy. It's only now that I feel better. After Bai Ruowei, Jiang Yinhua, and others learned about it, they finally chose to accept it silently. Chen Beiyuan knew very well that this was a certain son of fortune who was behind this. Chen Beiyuan smiled lightly. It is undeniable that Lin Zhao's move perfectly took advantage of the woman's jealousy and wanted to take advantage of him. In the original work, Chen Beiyuan unexpectedly had a child with the 4th lucky heroine. Naturally, he had heard a thing or two about the rumors from the outside world, but he just laughed it off. I have to say that Bai Ruowei really loves him to the core. At this moment, Chen Beiyuan, who is the protagonist of the rumor, is carrying Anu and walking towards the depths of the 10,000 beast forest. Even if Anu is really my daughter, they will eventually forgive me. Chapter 174, Part 1. Suck, suck, suck. As another protagonist in the rumors, the little silly dragon Anu was not affected at all. He still sucked the bottle hard and kept to himself. His 2 short legs were dangling on Shanbin's chest, looking carefree and untroubled. Suddenly, Chen Beiyuan seemed to have some bad taste. He patted the short legs of the little silly dragon Anu, raised his head, looked at Anu who was sucking the bottle, and said with a gentle face, Anu, my name is Ba. Snapped. Anu sucked the bottle for a moment, his eyes widened. As if before he could react, a ruthless big mouth slapped in the face, instantly causing a cry of pain. A slap from a child is very painful. After all, they often cannot control their own strength. Even Chen Beiyuan felt a burning sensation at this moment, with a bit of astonishment on his face. Obviously, Anu's reaction was beyond his expectation. He acted decisively, without any hesitation. If it were Bai Ruowei and other girls, they might give in half-heartedly, or they might refuse sternly, but they would never take action. Unfortunately, Anu is obviously different. This little silly dragon is different from Chen Beiyuan, the lucky heroines such as Bai Ruowei and Jiang Yinhua who are reluctant to fight. She is really willing to fight. Occasionally, he pulls his hair, ears, gnaws his head, and bites everywhere. Bad. Yuan. Regarding the sound of Anu's milky milk, Chen Beiyuan showed a hint of helplessness on his face. Although there was some burning pain on his face, he was not angry at all. He was not out of breath, yet when talking to a baby dragon that had been reborn for less than half a year. Chen Beiyuan shook his head secretly. To be honest, his feelings for Anu are extremely special. It can even be said that they are even more special and closer than Bai Ruowei, Jiang Yinhua, and Leng Ruobing. After all, he picked up the little silly dragon Anu from the Blood Dragon secret realm and hatched it bit by bit. In addition, he absorbed part of the essence and blood of the Blood Evil Dragon Emperor, which resulted in a certain blood connection between him and Anu, and a sense of closeness that was almost spiritual. Moreover, Anu has been following him and knows many of his secrets. The relationship between the two parties began to become closer and more complicated. In front of this little silly dragon, Chen Beiyuan can always relax and even feel like letting himself go. This was something he had never felt from Bai Ruowei and other women. Maybe he really regards Anu as his daughter. Suddenly, the sound of slurping suddenly stopped. Just when Chen Beiyuan was a little confused, a small head suddenly lowered from his head and faced him face to face, almost touching each other. A rich, milky fragrance suddenly poured into his nose. Bah, bah. Anu's milky voice reached her ears. Mua, a pure milky fragrance approached, leaving a milky mark on her face. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. At this moment, a certain little silly dragon obviously realized what he had just done. Chen Beiyuan's steps paused suddenly. His face seemed dull for a moment, and his two pairs of eyes looked at each other closely at this moment. Anu snapped. Before he could react, the little head in front of him suddenly disappeared, and immediately his ears were pulled up, and the cheerful giggle of the little silly dragon could be heard in his ears. Silly. Hey, Yuan. Deep in the forest of beasts, when Chen Beiyuan stepped into this place, what he saw were two majestic and lush towering sacred trees, leaning on each other, surrounded by the corpses of countless ferocious beasts, aliens, and humans. These two towering sacred trees are like two giants, containing terrifying vitality and giving people a feeling of being alive. Among them, a towering sacred tree grows green fruits that look like newborn babies, hanging in the air with the breeze blowing, carrying the subtle cry of a baby, reaching the ears. Another towering sacred tree has blood-red fruits hanging on it. The fruits are covered with meridians similar to the human body, with starlight and a hint of Tao rhyme. As expected, the two heaven and earth spiritual fruits, Yingxiu fruit and marrow-cleansing fruit, are almost completed. Chen Beiyuan looked at the two vibrant towering sacred trees in front of him with a hint of emotion in his eyes. Even if he wasn't close, he could clearly sense the terrifying vitality contained in it. In the void secret realm, these two sacred trees are also absolutely valuable treasures and one of the most terrifying opportunities. Infant longevity sacred tree, marrow cleansing sacred tree. If you eat one of the Yingxiu fruit produced by the former, you can get an extra year of lifespan out of thin air and extend your lifespan without any side effects. The marrow cleansing fruit, produced by the latter, is not weak at all in terms of magical powers. It can cleanse the marrow and change the mind, enhance the talent and understanding, and achieve the effect of reborn, defying the heavens and changing fate. The former prolongs life, the latter changes life. Even a practitioner with mediocre talent can defying the heavens and changing fate and walk his own path if he obtains the fruits of these two sacred trees. At a rough glance, the Yingxiu sacred tree has no fewer than 500 fruits, which is almost equivalent to 500 years of lifespan. You know, even the 8th grade war emperor of human race only has a lifespan of 500 years. Once these divine objects are known to the top human race experts from the outside world, there will definitely be great turmoil. Even the 8th grade war emperor will be tempted by it and go crazy for it. For those big shots, who doesn't want to live a few more years, decades, centuries? Lifespan is something that money and power cannot buy. In comparison, the marrow-cleansing fruit condensed by the marrow-cleansing sacred tree is much less, only about half of the Yingxiu fruit. However, this kind of magical fruit that refines talent and understanding is also an absolute treasure for cultivators. These two sacred trees are one of Chen Beiyuan's main goals when entering the Void Temple this time. In the future, it seems that we have to guard here. As the two sacred trees are gestated and the fruits begin to mature, they will definitely manifest strange phenomena and attract the covetousness of prodigy from all races. Since these two sacred trees were discovered by me, they are naturally destined to me. So naturally, they cannot be taken away by others. Chen Beiyuan found a place around him and sat down cross-legged. Anu was lying on his back and fast asleep, hugging him tightly like an octopus, still holding the bottle in his mouth. Although the animal milk in the bottle had been sucked out and only air was left, she still sucked it a few times from time to satisfy her cravings. What a greedy person. Chen Beiyuan smiled hoarsely and spent some effort to take out the empty bottle from Anu's mouth. She immediately made a sound of dissatisfaction from the sleeping girl. She was not satisfied until a bottle filled with animal milk was stuffed into her mouth. Chirp, 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 and let out a slight sleepy murmur. Hey, Yuan, good. Finally, at the last moment, I finished writing Chapter 175, Part 1. Accompanying Chen Beiyuan, he stayed in the deepest part of the 10,000 beast forest, waiting for the final stages of the two sacred tree fruits to gestate without appearing outside again. This undoubtedly made many prodigy of all races secretly sigh in relief. I was afraid that if I met this evil god on the road, my head would be twisted directly. However, this also made some people who were looking for him anxious. Lord Ao Lai, It's not that we didn't work hard, it's just that Chen Beiyuan was too cunning and knew Lord Ao Lai's reputation. So he hid on purpose. Lord Ao Lai. Chen Beiyuan most likely heard that you were looking for him, so he hid and didn't dare to show his face. A powerful, ferocious beast with the blood of dragon race was kneeling on the ground in submission, trembling with fear in its eyes. Even though they were well-known beings among their respective ethnic groups in the outside world, they still had no power to resist when faced with the Longzi from Wanlong Island in front of them. The suppression from the bloodline puts them at an almost natural disadvantage when facing Ao Lai. Moreover, it's not that they didn't work hard, but they really couldn't find Chen Beiyuan's hiding place. This damn human being is so cunning. He actually hid after killing the Bloodbat Yaga. A bunch of trash. Ao Lai, who had ferocious dragon horns, looked at the many ferocious beasts crawling under his feet with cold eyes. The fiery red scales on his face seemed to glow red, and lava-like liquid flowed out, burning the air. The burning flames in a pair of bloodthirsty dragon eyes foreshadowed its anger at this moment. If you can't even find a human being, what's the use of all this waste? I can't even find anyone, so there's no use keeping you here. Boom. Terrifying lava emerged from Ao Lai's body surface and turned into a huge lava dragon head. With scorching heat, it devoured the prostrate beasts in front of him. Dragon race's cruelty and cold-bloodedness were vividly demonstrated by him at this moment. For Ao Lai, these mixed-blood dragon beasts in front of him were the lowest existences, and they were only worthy of his pure-blood dragon son as a dog. If you can't even handle the matter, then just kill him. Seeing Ao Lai being so ruthless and killing him, some of the angry hybrid dragon beasts who knew they would die finally couldn't bear it any longer. Ao Lai, you have gone too far in bullying the dragon. You are a cruel tyrant. I've been working hard these days without complaining and being driven by it. If I just can't find anyone, you will kill me. You have treated us as slaves from the beginning to the end. If the BLO*DY Dragon Emperor is still here, how dare you? It will say you. Roar. The lava dragon roared resoundingly, resounding throughout the valley, and instantly swallowed up every giant dragon beast that roared unwillingly and dared to resist. Under the terrifying high temperature, even the tough flesh and bones of the ferocious beast were melted bit by bit, making it worse than death as it howled and screamed in pain. A bunch of despicable bastards still dare to mention that bitch. It's because that bitch gave you despicable bastards an illusion that you shouldn't have. You bastards, will only be assigned to pure-blooded dragons in this life. Race as a dog. Ao Lai snorted coldly. A cold look flashed across his handsome face, covered with fiery red scales, and the lava flowing on his body became even hotter. In an instant, several huge dragon beasts that wanted to resist were wiped out on the spot and turned into charred ashes on the ground. This scene instantly frightened the courage of the other dragon beasts nearby and made them tremble. Fierce beasts are inherently focused on the strength of their bloodline. There are, after all, few examples of subordinates who dare to resist. Most of them are ignorant and resigned beings. Next, it's your turn. Ao Lai's cold eyes looked at the other trembling dragon beasts that did not dare to resist, with a hint of bloodthirsty, murd *rouse intent on his lips. The lava dragon head that had swallowed several huge dragon beasts also appeared behind him, eyeing the remaining followers eagerly. At this moment, a ferocious beast that looked like a jackal suddenly had an idea, as if it had thought of something, and shouted loudly. Wait, Lord Ao Lai, I have a way. I have a way to find Chen Beiyuan. The Donghua people have always been united. This has been confirmed before in the Temple of the Void. We can capture the rest of the Donghua people, take their lives, and force Chen Beiyuan to show up. The villain once memorized the scent of Donghua prodigy when he was in the Void Temple. This can be regarded as a breakthrough. Blood Sea Forest. Wearing a mysterious Taoist robe, with aged eyes and an ordinary face, Wang Daoxian suddenly felt an ominous premonition coming over him. There seemed to be quite a bit of movement in the jungles from all directions, as if there were beings that were attacking him. Not good. Wang Daoxian's pupils shrank, and he instantly felt the threat of death coming. It was obvious that among the visitors, there was someone who was invincible to him. The only ones with such strength are those at the top of the Void ranking. It was obvious that the visitor had bad intentions. Without any hesitation, the 6th-rank prodigy of the human race on the Void ranking turned around and ran away without hesitation. The next day, the Void list hanging in the sky was refreshed again. In an instant, it attracted the attention of prodigy from all races. Void list. Record the number of Void tokens held by Void walkers. Refreshed every 24 hours. First place, Chen Beiyuan, Human Race Donghua Empire, 305. Second place, Zhang Yunfan, Human Race Donghua Empire, 255. Third place, Ao Lai, Dragon Race Ferocious Beast, 201. Fourth place, Tushan Susu, Qingxiu Fox Clan Ferocious Beast, 199. 5th place. Tina, Night Elf Alien, 187, 6th place. Wang Daoxian, Human Race Donghua Empire, 166, 7th place. Lion King Caesar, Human Race Bald Eagle Alliance, 148, 8th place. Gar, Human Race Slavic Empire, 139, ding. Deep in the forest of beasts. Suddenly, his eyes trembled, and the two towering sacred trees behind him suddenly made violent movements and began to shine brightly, revealing strange phenomena. Want to replicate Chen Beiyuan's previous results? I'm afraid it will be difficult. There aren't that many fools these days. Ever since Chen Beiyuan harvested Yaga, the 7th blood bat on the void ranking. If you can't beat him, you still can't run? Chen Beiyuan, who was sitting cross-legged, didn't pay any attention to the number 1 in the void list in the sky. He closed his eyes tightly and practiced nurturing spirit carefully. Those in the top 10 on the void ranking have become wary and will run away if there is any sign of trouble. At the same time, a system prompt suddenly sounded in his mind. Prodigy from all races looked at the top spot hanging in the sky with mixed emotions, but there were not many surprises. The difficulty of hunting it has skyrocketed. Overnight, Chen Beiyuan topped the void list. 10th place. Yumi Ito, Human Race Sakura Country, 105, 9th place. BLO *DY Bones, BLO *DY Torn Alien, 119.
Thanks for watching. You can find the next videos in the playlist linked in the info card or directly on my channel. If you have any feedback, I'd love to hear it. Feel free to drop a comment.